clients may be when you are ready to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call me, Jennifer Morris, at Keller Williams Realty, 865-694-5904, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone! Jason Swain, touchdown!
It's time for the Swain event.
Guess what time it is? My time. You can check your iPhone. Better say it's our time.
With your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com. And back in the Low T Center studios, it is Brad Matthews. Brad, good morning.
Good morning, fellas. How we doing?
Man, doing great, man. Doing great. Your Ravens 2-0.
Feeling good.
Yeah, you should, man. They are one of the best teams in the AFC right now, and looking pretty good, man. Behind Lamar Jackson, he's balling. Golly, he's balling. Doing a really, really good job. Looking good. And we got ourselves a kicker in there in Chicago.
There you go.
Got a kicker. Yeah. Got a kicker there in Chicago, so I'm happy about that. That's exciting. Boy. So being this is awkward. Ben, you okay, buddy?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking to me. I'm just busy watching this this video that Pitching Ninja put out of Dustin May and his filthy 92-mile-an-hour cutter. Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you, man.
Oh,
We're
okay.
talking NFL football a little bit. You know, Brad's team, the Ravens, they're 2-0. You know, my Bears 1-1. Got ourselves a kicker, game-winning field goal kick.
Did you do the Gator Chomp when Eddie Pinheiro hit that game-winning field goal?
No, I did not. We got a lot of Bulldogs on our team. So I didn't bark, nor did I gator chump when our Florida kicker nailed a game-winning field goal. I don't care what school you're from. When you hit my Bears locker room, just help us win. That's all I care about. But, Ben,
there are no two individuals I dislike more on this Monday morning than Daniel McCullers and Dante Moncrief. If it weren't for those two individuals, the Steelers would have beat the Seahawks yesterday. Cut them this morning. And I 100% mean that.
Now, why would you say that about Daniel McCullers?
He should not have been on the team in the first place.
He's a VFL.
I don't care. He's soft.
Oh, man.
He ran over the long snapper when the Steelers had held the Seahawks to a field goal. And because of the penalty of running into the long snapper, which you were no longer allowed to do in the NFL, the Seahawks went down and scored a touchdown, made it 7-7 instead of 7-3. And then later in the game, when Mason Rudolph came in, threw a beautiful pass on his first ever attempt in the NFL, goes right through the hands of Dante Moncrief. Seattle picks it off, and they go down and score a touchdown, and that was the turning point in the football game. So without those two individuals, Pittsburgh wins yesterday. But instead, now I have to sit here on this Monday morning, listen to you give me grief about it, listen to Brad snicker in the background because his team is 2-0 over the worst two teams in all of football.
I mean, he's snickering because Pittsburgh is an in-conference rival. I'm trying to be sensitive here, bro.
I'm gonna have to read all
I'm trying to be helpful.
Messages on the text box making fun of my Steelers. The Titans couldn't even win. I mean, none of the teams that I root for are winning.
Tennessee, baby. Tennessee won over the weekend, man.
Finally.
You
over an FCS opponent.
So?
A win is a win. I was very happy.
45-0, man.
A lot of positives to take away.
You can't control the schedule, who you play.
What you said about FCS opponent is what I'm saying about my Ravens. A win's a win, baby. We're 2-0.
No, your Ravens look good. I'm just giving you mess. I will be interested to see them play a legitimate opponent, but they do look good after 2 weeks.
I was coming this weekend.
Who do they play this weekend?
The Chiefs.
Oh, boy.
Let's roll.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they play somebody real this weekend. They
Oh,
play
boy.
the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
And, you know, Clay Travis made this point about the Titans losing to the Colts that he's not even going to get mad because it's the Chiefs conference anyways for the next 15 years with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. He's the next Tom Brady. I kind of feel that way as well. Well,
That's silly.
we're going to lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs if we were to make the playoffs anyways. So,
That's silly. You still
Cares.
you should have beat the Colts, man. Without Andrew Luck, you did a great job beating the Browns. You played great last week, and then this week you had some bonehead decisions from coaching staff, and you didn't get it done. At least, would you rather play the Chiefs in the first round or after, a bye and you play the Chiefs in maybe the AFC Championship game or maybe the second round? You don't want to play them in the first round, right?
correct.
So winning those games in the regular season, it matters.
Well, I'm one Pittsburgh loss away. If they lose to the 49ers this weekend, which the 49ers are 2-0, hashtag tank for Tua.
Yeah, man, we got some room on the Bears bandwagon, Ben. If you want to,
No, thanks. I don't want to root for former Florida and Georgia and Alabama players.
Hey, whatever,
If you
man.
find yourself as one of those rats running to the top of a sinking ship, the Ravens and Bears fan base are ready for you.
Yeah, man.
The only team worse about having former Florida and Alabama and Georgia players is the Baltimore Ravens, Brad. No thanks. They are Alabama North.
Hey, man, the SEC has put in the most players in the NFL in the
Although I
last 10
guess-
years. You don't really have a choice if you're going to root for any NFL team.
Yeah.
There's going to be Bamas. There's going to be Georgia Bulldogs, Florida Gators, LSU Tigers.
I can't make
Sorry.
fun of Brad's Ravens for being Alabama North when our Tennessee Vols are kind of Alabama North as well.
Hey, man, have been for a couple of years now. You better get used to it. 865-250-503, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Tennessee in the win column, baby. Woo, feels good. Y'all feel that? Huh? Feeling good? Huh? No? Yeah.
Feel great.
Yeah, man. Man, you got to let it go, man. Let it go. Let it go. The Steelers, they just let it go, Ben. It's okay, man. Think about Tennessee right now.
I am trying. I jokingly told you this morning that we are 3 weeks into football season, and on a Monday morning, I am having to watch highlight videos of recruits, Tennessee basketball recruits, to get me pumped up.
Florida
week.
It's Florida week, man. It's Florida week.
No, this weekend was really good for Tennessee. They had a list of boxes that they needed to check off. That is the way I have been describing it since Wednesday, Thursday of last week. They had a list of boxes that they needed to check off, and in my opinion, they checked those boxes off. We all knew Tennessee was going to win, but they needed to win the games within the game, and that was boost JG's confidence, get Brian Maurer, get JT Shrout some reps, force some turnovers. They needed to dominate along the line of scrimmage, and I thought for the most part that they accomplished all of those feats. So it was a nice Saturday for the Vols.
Tennessee did to UTC what I thought they were going to do against Georgia State, and that was have a defensive touchdown, that was have a special teams touchdown, and offensively put up a ton of points. Now, Tennessee didn't do all those things on Saturday, but they made some big plays in those three different phases of the football game. Nigel Warrior, look at Nigel Warrior getting his hands on the ball, picking the ball off. How about that? That was good to see. Good to see Daniel Batuli fly around and make some plays, get guys lined up. Good to see him out there. Jared Gantano, first pass wasn't that great. The placement of the ball wasn't great, but it was a good decision. I listened to the broadcast. I watched the broadcast, and Matt Stiscombe said it was a bad decision and a bad throw. It wasn't a bad decision. It was one-on-one. I'm looking on Twitter like, really? Do you even know what you're talking about? I don't think so. The touchdown pass to Cedric Tillman, I thought it was a run all the way. The moment I saw number 85 in there and number 80 in there, I said, oh, this is a run. This is a heavy run formation, number one. And personnel-wise, it's a run formation because normally those guys are in there during the run. Great run fake by the running back and the quarterback. Great protection except for the last split second where looked like K'Ron Calvert's man came and got a hit on Jared there. But I thought Jared hit his last step and let the ball go. A great catch by Cedric Tillman, catching the ball and understanding you're going to get hit anyway, so you might as well catch it for his first touchdown of his Tennessee career. I thought it was a good play. I thought Jared played very well, and this is important for Jared to gain that confidence. He's smart, he cares, and sometimes you can care too much where it becomes a detriment. And Saturday was really defense, special teams, but I thought it was the most important thing in this football game was JG's confidence as you get ready to head into the swamp, guys.
Brad, I gave my spiel in the game. What were your overall thoughts from Saturday's win?
Well, I thought we took care of business like you were supposed to. I mean, I talked about Friday that, can we finally just go back out to one of these games where fans are wondering if they're going to go or not and checking the rest of the schedule on television to see what they would be missing during that time. You're 0-2, the time of day. I was so impressed, guys. The fan base is what impressed me the most. You have 80,000 plus in that stadium for that game at that time. I mean, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I think our defense, they executed. They didn't bend much at all, definitely didn't break. And we execute on offense with efficiency, which you want to see. Some bright plays that you don't expect, like Jeremy Banks with the 2 picks, Cedric Tillman with that catch, seeing the young guys play early and then also play late with some fresh faces like Elijah Simmons and company. J.J. Peterson got into the game. That's what we need in a UTC, in a Georgia State type of ball game. And that's what we got, so I'm pleased.
I like it. We'll take our first break of the day here. We're live at Beatty Chevrolet, Parkside Drive, home of the warranty for life. BeattyChevrolet.com. Swain Event is fueled by Dead End Barbecue. So don't go anywhere. Swain Event. Be right back.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
Tap water often contains harmful chemicals and additives. When you call for your free water test from Hiller, we'll show you exactly what's in your water and how to remove it. Enjoy cleaner, healthier water in your home. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your free in-home appointment today.
Call the happy face truck today.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible. But remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty. Say Garza. 865-540-8300. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
In debt? In too deep? Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union says, stop treading water and get out of the deep end. If you've got debt, make a splash and come get some cash. If Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union can refinance your car, boat, camper, motorcycle, credit cards, personal or home loan, they'll pay you up to $500. So come take the plunge right now. Refinance your loans. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union will pay you. 5 convenient locations. Visit atfcu.com. Equal housing lender.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
The year's going by so fast. The good news is it's football season. The bad news is, well, there's a bunch of stuff you still need to do this year, like get a health checkup. I recommend Low T Center. You can get all of your levels checked with a $99 complete health assessment. Low T Center exclusively treats men, and they make it quick and easy. Plus, it's covered by most health insurance. Call 865-392-1388, or you can schedule your appointment online at lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
If you want to chop it up with the fellas, call the Be Dry Waterproofing Hotline at 865-200-5503.
So, y'all want to keep breaking down this UTC Tennessee game, or are we gonna keep it moving and talk about the Florida Tennessee game? Talk about Florida Kentucky. What y'all want to do this morning?
I have two stats that I want to talk about. Did you have Brian Maurer scoring, rushing for a touchdown before Eric Gray? If you did, you win the lottery.
I did not. No, I did not. I didn't think all three quarterbacks would play because it's not like Tennessee has had a history of taking care of business the way they did Saturday, getting touchdowns on defense. We forced 5 turnovers. We forced 1 turnover in the first 2 games. 5 turnovers Saturday, 45 points. So you got an opportunity for everyone else to play. We have not done that, so I didn't think 3 quarterbacks were going to play. So I was wrong there. 3 quarterbacks did play, and I'm glad they played. I'm glad everyone got a chance to see, each quarterback perform. Brian Maurer is mobile. You saw that on the quarterback sweep to the left and reached for the pylon, got the score. J.T. Stroud, he has a strong arm, but, you understand kind of why those guys are not only, second, third string, but there's a good amount of distance between first and JG and then 2 and 3. So those guys played, glad they did, but now we understand why Pruitt has been saying what he's been saying. I mean, JG is his guy, and I know some of the media folks got their little feelings hurt a little bit because Pruitt kind of mentioned them, not individually, but pretty much said y'all been wanting to other quarterback. And
I thought that was an interesting quote too, because there hasn't really been any media members that I have seen that go to practice, go to the games, and attend the press conferences and the media availabilities and whatnot, call for JG to be benched. So I thought that was an interesting comment. I thought that was more of a Nick Saban-esque comment of where he was using the media to back his quarterback and talk to his quarterback through the media, because not saying that the fans are wrong, but it has been the fans that have been calling for JG for another quarterback to play. So I thought that was an interesting comment.
Yeah, I mean, it's Pruitt did exactly what you're supposed to do, and that is pump confidence in your football team, pump confidence into your quarterback, a quarterback that is less confident this year than last year, and it's really weird because you got Jim Chaney. You have a lot more pieces around you in place to be more successful. It's a little weird. And, Titans Bill called in last week and was kind of joking around with name calling some of the assistant coaches. He called Tracy Rocker Tracy Rocking Chair, and then he called Chris Winkie Chris Stinky. I'm not going to call him Chris Stinky, but I do wonder, and I'm not accusing Chris Winkie of this at all, but I do wonder, because there is a correlation. The running back got better from last year to this year, and the quarterbacks, JG in particular, has gotten worse. Now, I put most of the responsibility on JG at the end of the day because he is a redshirt junior, but I'm wondering kind of what's up there.
But we all know why we recruited Chris Winkie.
Yeah, because his connections to IMG.
Because of what he can do with recruiting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that hasn't paid off yet, though.
Yeah. So
not exactly.
It has not paid off.
But
you trying to be nice, Brad.
I think he's got a good connection with some of these 2020 and 2021 prospects, from what we're hearing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just about Tennessee winning. It's just about Tennessee winning to see if those guys are going to come to Tennessee. But, I'm not blaming Chris Winkie for JG's play, but I am monitoring the situation.
Kind of like
after Game 3.
We are monitoring the offensive line coaching situation, because the offensive line has steadily improved from one game to the next, from Georgia State to BYU to UTC. And yes, there is a dramatic drop-off in level of competition from BYU to UTC, but the offensive line has gotten better game by game, and I think it's because Jim Chaney has kind of taken that bull by the horns and run with it.
Yeah.
That is Jim Chaney's offensive line, in my opinion.
That's a pretty good opinion to have, Ben. Saw when they moved Darnell Wright in the guard, Kayron Calvert out to tackle. Pretty good little group right there.
But with the quarterbacks, what did you think of Brian Maurer and his performance? What did you think of J.T. Shrout and his performance? Kind of got off to a slow start. Looked a little jittery on his first couple of throws. Had a bad interception where he missed the guy really high. Was called back because of roughing the passer call. What did you think of those guys' performance? And if JG gets hurt in the first quarter against Florida, what quarterback would you like to see come in based off those select reps?
I would probably go Maurer just because he's mobile, but I didn't see anything on Saturday that I have not seen in practice. I mean, you saw a good play here and there. You saw potential, but then you saw mistakes that scare the crap out of you if you're a coach. You don't want mistakes that end up being a turnover, because turnovers get you beat. So that's something that I've been kind of saying all fall camp, all preseason, beginning of the season is, guys, the first thing you have to do to play quarterback is take care of the football. If you can't do that, then you're not going to play. And then what you do in practice is kind of what you're going to do in the game. If you're making plays in practice, you're doing the right things, making the right reads, taking care of the football, coaches are going to trust you more than if you don't. And so the game from the quarterbacks play that I saw in the game really wasn't surprising much at all from what I've seen in practice. So I'm glad we got that out of our system.
Yep.
Everyone got a chance to see that. Somebody in the text box says, I think Maurer wasn't given a chance to show his arm.
And that he was chewed out for scoring because Pruitt didn't want him to be successful.
Dude, he was chewed out because
he dove for the pylon and you can fumble.
Yeah, because around the 4 or 5 yard line, Maurer was starting to move the ball. He had tucked, then he's getting ready to slide. Get ready to dive. And in that particular situation, the ball could come out and you can fumble through the end zone. So that was Pruitt coaching football. He didn't get mad at him because he was successful. That might be the silliest thing I've heard this morning. Come on, man. Because when I saw Maurer dive, I thought the same thing. I was like, ooh. You really don't need to dive in that situation. You got to be really, really careful, because whenever you move the football, we've seen college, we've seen high school, we've seen pro where guys lose the ball. And if the ball is fumbled out of the end zone, it could be a touchback. So that was a great opportunity to coach him. Why wait until Monday morning or Sunday morning or Saturday night or whatever to watch film? If you're Pruitt, you coach him right there in the spot. So that's what that was about.
Yeah, and what about on Brian Maurer's 3 pass attempts? Brew87 wants to know what you thought kind of his mistakes were.
I don't know.
In that sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't break down Maurer's throws. Yeah.
I mean, the only one that I can think of, he threw.
I'm on the Florida like Belichick.
I'm with you.
I'll watch it right now.
I thought he threw a pretty good deep ball to, I believe it was Ramel Keaton, and it kind of just went. It was a tough catch for Keaton to make. It was contested, but Maurer gave him a chance to make a play on it, and unfortunately, Ramel Keaton just wasn't able to bring it in. I didn't think Brian Maurer looked atrocious throwing the football, and like Brew87 says, he only attempted 3 passes.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and try to overanalyze Brian Maurer's throws or JT
really
Stroud throws. Like, or JG's throws. I'm not going to overanalyze these guys' throws versus UTC.
Yes, because against Florida, it is going to be completely different.
JG is the best quarterback in the room, and for me, that's all that matters. And he has to play better. Simple as that. He got to play better. He has to play like he did against Auburn on the road. I'm excited to see how he's going to play.
Yep,
I really am. Let's get to Charles on the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Charles, good morning.
Hey, Swain, how are you, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Ben, yourself, I hope.
I'm doing well. I hope you are as well.
I'm surviving. I got a question. My season tickets are in W, so I'm on the home side, probably about the 5-yard line.
Okay.
And I'm only 20. I'm the second row up from the main walkway. But when we were down on that in the field and they put Shroud in, is it me or does Shroud throw the ball 90 miles an hour?
Yeah, he can sling the pill for sure.
He can throw it now.
Yeah, he's got some.
It looked like. He threw. I think it was 3, maybe 4 passes in a row down there, and he hit the receiver every time in the hand. It looked like, but it looked like the receiver couldn't catch it because he was literally throwing a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yes, Stroud has probably the biggest arm, but he's just not ready right now, and that's okay.
I thought you could tell he was very jittery in my opinion.
So?
You could tell it was his first outing as a collegiate quarterback, regardless of competition. I thought he was jittery.
I totally agree, Ben.
I would be too.
I know, I've heard stories. I heard Peyton threw a hard football, but it looked to me like that was part of Shroud's problem was he just needed to ease up on his passing. He looked like he had the accuracy. But I don't know. Y'all attend flat practice, and so that's why I was curious to get your opinion.
Yeah. Stroud was okay until he threw the interception. And that was the one thing I was concerned about with him was taking care of the football. And that's what gets you on the bench is when you turn the football over. But yeah, there's no doubt about it that JT Stroud has probably the best arm talent in that room. But it's about decision making.
We saw the same thing on Saturday that we've seen all fall camp and through the first 3 weeks of practice with Stroud particulars, where even routes versus air, even in the open portion of practice, he will make a pretty throw, but then his next throw, he throws it into the dirt 5 yards short of the receiver, or he just airmails it. He's battling consistency right now, as is Brian Maurer. That is their biggest problem.
Why do they not take – I don't understand this, but I'm kind of agree with y'all's statement, the fact that y'all didn't say it, so I'll say it. I'm a caller and can say it. I don't understand what Winky's job is other than his name. Why don't they let T. Martin work with Maurer and Shroud? Because apparently Winky is not getting them along.
Well,
and I understand Shroud, I think, was a Tyson Helton project.
Yes.
And I understand that. And I understand that he is a work in progress. But they have to put somebody with him that's going to make him progress.
Well, T coaches wide receivers, number one, and number two. I think it might be too early to like maybe question Chris Winky's coaching at the quarterback position. It's only 3 games in. It may be JG, getting in his own head, and it may be something there with him and not Chris Winky. I think it's just something to monitor. I think it's worth mentioning and monitoring moving forward. You look at running back, him coaching running backs last year, and they've gotten better. Yeah. Will Friend has gotten some input there, and I think we're moving forward with a tighter O-line rotation. Let's just say that. And Charles, thanks so much for the phone call, man.
The right side of that offensive line with Darnell Wright and Kayron Calbert, if they continue to play those guys, start those guys, That is a lot of beef up front.
Yeah. Let's go back to the phones this morning. Looks like we got Knoxville Mike. Knoxville Mike, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Can you hear me okay?
You sound good, man. Good morning.
Okay. Hey, good morning. Listen, after watching that game, there's no doubt. I mean, and I'd been hard on JG, and there's no doubt. I think he's probably our best QB. He's probably gives us our best chance to win. I don't like saying that, but I just have to be a realist. But my question is, and I know, Jason, you'll be able to answer this better than anybody, and I haven't heard nobody else bring it up, but what I want to know is, and it's simple, and I'll hang up and listen. Okay, everybody talks about JG, and I'll talk about myself for a minute. I talked about JG. I don't think he can hit the bronze side of a barn. But my question to you is, being a receiver, when you have a quarterback that when you run routes and you run them full speed, when you're a receiver to a quarterback that you're not quite sure where the ball's going to be, how does that affect the receiver? I mean, everybody talks about, JG, he's having trouble getting the ball there or being accurate or whatever it is, but how does that affect the receiver when you run a route and you run it perfect, but you're not sure where the ball is going to be, whether you're going to have to speed up, whether you're going to have to slow down? What all goes into a mindset of a receiver when they're just not quite exactly sure, if the quarterback's going to lead him, or if it's going to be short, or if it's going to be offered? I just want to know what goes into that. And I appreciate it. Y'all have a good week.
Hey, thank you, Knoxville Mike. Appreciate the phone call. I'm just happy the ball come my way. To be 100% honest, I'm happy the ball's coming because I feel like if the ball's anywhere close, I'm going to get it. And that's kind of what T. Martin is telling his wide receivers. And that's what any good wide receiver coach is telling his wide receivers. Don't expect a perfect ball. Of course, you would like a perfect ball if you are the quarterback's coach, if you are the offense coordinator, if you are the quarterback. You would prefer a perfect ball, but you don't expect a perfect ball to make a play or to catch the ball if you are a wide receiver. For me, it's not about like the placement or the accuracy that's more concerning with JG. It's the timing. It's him, believing in what he sees and letting it rip even before a guy gets open. In the Kentucky-Florida game, one thing that I was really impressed with Felipe Franks is on the curl route, man, he threw the ball before the guy was even looking. He threw it to a spot. It was open. The DB could not react. And Felipe has taken a lot of criticism. A lot of it's justified, but that was just a great throw from Felipe Franks. And I want to see JG do more of that. These guys have played a lot of football together, so he should trust the receivers enough to throw the ball before they come out of their breaks. Based on the alignment of the DB, based on the coverage, you should know, okay, on the curl route, the guy's playing a little bit inside. I know I need to place this ball on the outside shoulder instead of throwing it inside. And that's just what you know from working during the summer. But JG gives us the best chance to win, and it shouldn't pain you to say it. It's just the truth. And last year, JG did a really good job on the road against Auburn. And I look at this Florida game, and it reminds me a little bit of going into Auburn, because Auburn's defense, you can say whatever you want to say about the offense and Gus Malzahn, but that defense is one of the best in the country last year.
And this year's the fourth most efficient defense in the entire country.
And Tennessee carved Auburn's offense up. Auburn's defense up. They were confident. JG was confident. That's the confidence that he needs to go down with the swamp with. Tennessee is a 14-point underdog on the road at the Swamp. And we should be.
Yes.
I mean, we should be a 14-point underdog.
Did he get bet up to 14? Because it came out 12.5.
Yeah, I saw 14 last night. Am I going to pick Tennessee to win? No, I'm not going to pick Tennessee to win. But I think they can.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can win. I don't know if Tennessee's chances are better or worse with Kyle. I'm trying not to call his last name trash. I'm trying not to, because he was so awesome against Kentucky. He was pretty good. He was pretty dang good.
Just please don't put your sister Jean, your appetizer state voodoo on Kyle Trask.
I'm not talking trash about him at all. He's actually better than Felipe Franks for Florida's offense.
Yes,
but it's just so easy to say that. But Florida's offense was better with Trask out there. I thought he was better.
And not only did the offense look better, but I thought he showed a lot more leadership than Felipe Franks ever has, and that goes a long ways. Kentucky had that game won until Kyle Trask came in.
Quarterback curse that we have here in Knoxville. I mean, backup quarterbacks, they terrify us. They make us quiver. They make us lose sleep as fans. What is up with backup quarterbacks coming into Knoxville or even defending their home turf against the Vols and putting up Heisman numbers?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's something different.
Can we prevent that this week?
I hope so. The thing that was like really impressive about Trask going out there was their quarterback dislocated his ankle to the point where he needed to be carried off on a cart
in an air cast.
The whole team is kneeling right there with him. It's a really emotional moment. I remember when Jason Allen had a similar play when he dislocated his hip against Georgia in 05. Like, it stopped our whole sideline. We dropped to our knees and prayed right there on the spot for him. And that Florida game on Saturday versus Kentucky reminded me a lot of that. For Kyle Trask to go out there after that moment and was unfazed, made all the throws, was calm and cool and collected in the pocket, that speaks a lot to him. Now, he's not a spring chicken. I mean, he's a junior. So he's very experienced. He's a veteran. He's going to prepare. I mean, he's a starter, but I think he prepared like the starter the whole entire time because he played last year when Felipe Franks got benched. So I don't know if it makes it easier for Tennessee or not. I would say it does not, but Florida, they're missing players in the back end of the secondary. You look at Kentucky; they were able to run the football effectively against Florida, something that you just don't normally see. You don't see Florida giving up a big chunk of rushing yards, and Kentucky was able to run the football. And so if Tennessee can do that, if Tennessee can run the football, because traditionally the team who has the most rushing yards in this game usually wins. It's not exact. It's not exact science. It doesn't happen every single time, but more times than not, the team who rushes the football for the most yards usually win this game. I think there's a chance. Tennessee needs turnovers. Tennessee needs to make big plays at special teams. But I'm not going to sit here and say that Tennessee doesn't have a chance. That's just silly. It's a game of football. Yeah. Anyone has a chance.
Yeah, and I'll say this about Kentucky. They didn't take the big drop-off that a lot of people thought they would.
No, they didn't.
It may not show so in the record at the end of the year, but, man, Kentucky dominates you at the line of scrimmage.
Physically, they're right there with every SEC team. You know, physically. Offensive line, trenches, I mean, they're right there, man.
Those defensive linemen are huge for Kentucky.
Yeah, that's development. That's a testament to the coaching staff and the strength conditioning staff up there in Kentucky.
And after watching Kentucky's defensive line get after it against Florida's offensive line on Saturday, I don't blame the kid from down the road for picking Kentucky to go play for Kentucky over Tennessee. What's kid? I already forgot about him. He picked Kentucky over Tennessee. I deleted him from my memory.
Yeah, it was between Tennessee and Kentucky. What's his name again?
Got caught up with the
Trayvon Ripka, right?
Yeah, Trayvon Ripka. Yeah, Trayvon Ripka.
He could go elsewhere, picking Kentucky over Tennessee. But when you look at the way Mark Stoops has developed defensive linemen during his time at Kentucky, it's hard to fault him.
Hey, looking forward to the game. I just don't understand or know how much we want to talk about the UTC game. Usually that is Mondays are a day where we will kind of break down the game before, but man, the game was so lopsided. Tennessee was so dominant. Tennessee lost against Georgia State and BYU. I think it probably would have been a little bit different if Tennessee enters this week 2-1 or 3-0 rather than 1-2. But
should be 3-0.
Yeah, but I don't want to take anything away from what Tennessee did on Saturday because, games like this, it's a lose-lose. Well, you're supposed to beat them like that. Well, I mean, 5 turnovers is pretty dang good. I mean, 5 turnovers is good. Interceptions, fumble recoveries. Offensively, you played pretty clean. No one got hurt. I mean, it was a successful day. I'm not going to overhype it and say, Tennessee is going to beat Florida now because they beat UTC. No, I'm not going to say that. but I'm not going to downplay the significance of this win. I'm not going to downplay the significance of JG's performance because I think it was a confidence booster. Something I said last week, I thought it was going to be very important for him to see receivers catch the ball in the end zone. It's kind of like, a shooter playing against an inferior basketball team, and you see the ball go through the rim. That helps your confidence. That helps with pulling the trigger when you're open. And JG's kind of the same way. Don't get gun shy. Don't overthink it. See what you believe. Let it rip. I thought a game like this would be really important for JG's confidence. Let's go to the phones, and then we have to take a break so we can get on time this morning. Let's get to Turkey Man. Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, individuals.
Good morning, individual.
Hey, it's Gator Week. It's Gator Week, guys.
It is Gator Week.
And I think we need to talk about keys to our success this week. And I think it is go get the turnover trash can and bring it out this week.
No.
We got to sack that quarterback. We just dump him in the old trash can.
I'm okay with dumping him in the trash can, but I don't think we need a turnover trash can. No.
Well, we will be in the state of Florida.
No trash cans.
What did you say the quarterback's name was?
Oh, man. Kyle Trask.
Can.
Nope.
See you guys.
See ya.
Kyle Trask.
Nope. I'm not doing that, Turkey Man. You ain't set me up.
Well, we can't set Swain up to trash talk Kyle Trask because he will put his sister Jean and Appetizer State Voodoo on Tennessee.
Why would I trash talk Florida?
Because you trash talk everything and
everybody. No, I don't.
You were trash talking me this morning about my Steelers.
Yeah, because y'all sorry. You're 0-2. But I'm not trash talking a team that we might lose to. Have you seen me trash talk Vanderbilt lately? Have you seen me trash talk anybody besides Kentucky in football in the last 12 months?
Auburn.
Barely. I barely trash talk Auburn because now they can talk about basketball. Listen, I know my place. I'm not trash talking if I can't trash talk. I have nothing to say about Florida. Nothing but positive things to say. Dan Mullen has nice shoes. He doesn't look like Grayson Allen. He looks like himself, Dan Mullen. He does not look like Grayson Allen's daddy. See? I'm not trash talking. 865-255-03. Live from Beatty Chevrolet, Parkside Drive. Be right back.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technician to see how we can get your phone working today. We all know that Vol Nation is all over the country. Traveling to games is a fun time for the entire family, but deciding where to stay can be a bit stressful. That's where the Big Orange Faithful at the Hampton Inn downtown come in. General Manager Stephen Lawrence and his team go over and beyond to make sure that you have the best stay in their brand new rooms. They have the cleanest rooms in the game, which include flat screen, microwave, and fridge. Not to mention breakfast is included in the room rate. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the best part. The Hampton Inn downtown is less than a mile from Neyland Stadium. While you're planning your game day trips, be sure to check out Hampton Inn online at hamptoninn.com and search Knoxville. Book Hampton Inn downtown today.
Craving flavors that don't take hours in the kitchen? Mrs. Grissom's cheese spreads and chicken salads are the perfect go-to. Ready-to-eat meals and snacks found in the meat or dairy section at your local grocery store. Whether you crave the classic Mrs. Grissom's pimento cheese or the gluten-free select varieties like the cranberry pecan chicken salad, enjoy small-town flavor in every bite. Select the best. Select Mrs. Grissom's.
Small town, like a small town when I'm with you.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy.
You're listening to the Swain event.
And you know this, man.
Around the SEC, powered by 42nd Street Marketing, your game-winning play call for design, marketing, and branding.
All right, it's time for Around the SEC this morning. Swain event fueled by Dead End Barbecue live here at Beatty Chevrolet, Parkside Drive. 9615 is the address, Parkside Drive here. It is a beautiful Monday morning, feeling cool and crispy outside. Crisp outside. Now it's going to feel crispy later. It's going to be really, really hot. But enjoy it this morning. Great morning here in East Tennessee. All right, Ben, around the SEC, what you got today?
Just looking at some scores from over the weekend. Georgia took care of business against Arkansas State, 55-0. Jake Fromm threw for 279 yards. Kansas State beat Mississippi State 31-24, in which Tommy Stevens was unable to finish the game due to injury, and then Mississippi State's backup quarterback went flying through the air helicopter style. Thankfully, he is okay. As we know, Tennessee took care of business against UTC 45-0. Alabama took it to South Carolina 47-23. Now that score is a little misleading. I thought South Carolina played well with Alabama there in the first half. Will Muschamp kind of went for two there near halftime, or not went for two, but went for a touchdown on fourth and goal rather than kicking the field goal. I thought that was a great decision because you're not going to beat Alabama by kicking field goals, and unfortunately, it just did not work out. Helinski had a high throw in the back of the end zone, but Helinski is going to be a stud.
Should have kicked the field goal at the end of the first half. Because,
really, you think?
Yeah, man, you get the ball back in the second half. You get the ball back in the second half, and you've been moving the ball up and down the football field.
I think that I agree with that mindset for everybody other than when you're playing Clemson and Alabama. You're not going to beat those two teams kicking field goals, especially with the way Tua Tagovailoa was balling out.
I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
That's the only call that I would have changed. I would have kicked the field goal, got the ball back in the second half, scored a touchdown. Now it's 10. I think you only got, 3 points out of those 2 possessions?
Mm-hmm.
I think you went down and kicked the field goal in the first drive of the second half.
Yeah.
I thought Helinski was pretty dang good. I thought Carolina's offense was good. And something that we're not used to seeing is Alabama be behind their offense. And this is the second straight year where Alabama's defense is behind their offense. Carolina didn't have trouble moving the football up and down the field. It's just that Tua put so much pressure on you with those wide receivers and playmakers. You got to score touchdowns against them. Because if you don't, they're going to put up 30, 40, 50 points against you.
Yeah.
Henry Ruggs is a cheat code, man.
All of those receivers
God.
are a cheat code. Did you see how fast he got down the field?
Yeah, I saw how fast he was.
Just ridiculous. You mentioned Alabama's defense kind of having some mishaps. That is because they are on the verge of playing 4 true freshmen in their front 7. LeBron Ray, according to AL.com, and Matt Zenitz, it appears that he is going to be possibly out for the season due to a foot and ankle injury. Huntsville boy. So he was a preseason All-SEC defensive end, and it looks like Bama's going to be starting 4 true freshmen in their front 7, which it won't matter until LSU, until Auburn, to the Clemson game. But still, that is worrisome for those big games coming up. But just to round out the rest of the SEC games real quick, Ole Miss beat Southeast Louisiana 40-29. Arkansas put up 55 against Colorado State in a win. Auburn beat Kent State 55-16. Florida beat Kentucky 29-21. A&M beat Lamar 62-3.
Lamar.
LSU beat Northwestern State 65-14. And
cousin is
Missouri.
Lamar, that's a school?
That's Lamar Odom's and Kendrick Lamar's cousin.
Where's Lamar? Where is that? Is that that's in Texas?
Probably. They always play those Texas schools.
Probably.
Lamar.
Brad, do you know where Lamar is?
What's that? I thought that was an advertising agency.
It is in Texas, Beaumont.
Oh.
Beaumont.
Lamar.
Sounds like a person, not a school.
I know, right?
And then Missouri shut out Southeast Missouri State 50-0. So, Lamar. One of those Texas schools that A&M plays every year.
Whatever, man. Do what you got to do. We play UTC, so whatever. Whatever. Not the best weekend for SEC games. Not the best weekend, but we get a good weekend this week for sure. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's get Hillbilly Bopper in here. Good morning.
Morning, Swain.
Good morning.
Morning, Ben.
Good morning.
How you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Hey, I kind of made this point over the weekend. Is I guess after watching JG's play against UTC, what about it? I mean, can he still not read can he still not read a defense? Can he not even read a pass? I mean,
what
come on, guys, what are we doing here? I mean,
what play are you talking about?
What's happening?
Which play are you talking about?
A lot of the plays, man. I mean, it's still ongoing with him. He can't get anything down the field. In my opinion, he can't get anything moving. I mean, there was let's see, that wasn't his play. That was Maurer's play that went to Tillman, where he made a good read, but Tillman couldn't make the catch. And I think that was the better pass of the game that I saw. Kind of going, I think it was around the third or fourth quarter. But man, I'm still not confident. I'm not going to be.
I mean, I understand not being confident, in JG based on the first 2 games and kind of a little bit of maybe what you didn't like from what his play was last year. But I mean, I didn't think his performance was that bad on Saturday, to be honest. Except for the first throw, I thought he was okay. I thought he was okay.
But he was making simple plays. They had to dummy down the playbook for him this weekend. Don't you agree? Don't you think they went simple routes?
I don't
I
agree.
thought they went simple because you're playing UTC. I mean, exactly. He threw a go route to Callaway. The DB fell, but even if he would have been there, it still was a good ball. The pass to Cedric Tillman. I mean, you can knick-knack him if you want to and say it was a little bit inside, but I thought the pass was fine. It was on time. He did a really good job of carrying out the run fake. And then as soon as he hit his last step, I mean, he let it loose. He didn't pat the football. He didn't wait. I mean, he let it loose. I was afraid of this happening, that because of JG's first 2 games, that when he had good performances or did a pretty good job, that he wouldn't get credit for it. I mean, I understand not having confidence in JG. I get that, but I didn't think his play was that bad, except for the first throw of the game.
I'm not saying it's completely bad. I'm just saying I know we had to make it simple for UTC. I understand the school and understand what's going on, but we're playing Florida this week. There's going to have to. This was like a scrimmage to us with UTC, and it was an awful scrimmage because we didn't have any pressure. We had some pressure. I mean, I know he had to get out of the pocket at times, but at times he was still, not making the correct reads. I mean, I just think Florida's front seven is going to eat us, guys. And
Well, thanks for the phone call, man. I appreciate it. I just need a little bit more example of what read are you talking about with play, instead of just saying he wasn't making the right reads. I need to know a little bit more, because I didn't think it was that bad of a performance. And again, this is a lose-lose situation because you beat the UTC team 45-0, and people say, well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're not going to run trick plays versus UTC. You're going to run the vanilla type of offense and defense. That's what they did. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't think the performance was bad at all. Hour 2, around the corner. Be right back. Swain Event, fueled by Daddy and Barbecue.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Expect sunny skies today with a high of 96, clear tonight with a low of 72. There will be mostly sunny skies tomorrow with a high near 95 and a low around 73. More sunshine on Wednesday with a high in the mid-90s. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by Be Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, Be Dry can help. BeDry.com. Do you have sloping or uneven floors, foundation cracks, or a leaning chimney? Do your windows and doors not open properly, or are there gaps where the floor and walls meet? Don't worry, B-Dry offers approved foundation repair solutions like steel I-beams, helical piering, epoxy injections, carbon fiber applications, and more. Make sure that your home is on stable ground with B-Dry. Call them at 865-588-0454 or find them online at bdry.com.
Soreness, bumps, and bruises are a part of everyday life, whether you're a Vol or not. Surgery can be too, even for weekend warriors. Something that can get you back to feeling your best is therapeutic massage. If you've had surgery or are feeling the wear and tear of life, give our friends at In Touch Massage Knoxville a visit. They have a hand-picked staff and offer a clinical focus for folks going through joint replacement and cancer treatment. They serve neurological patients like those being treated for MS, ALS, and Parkinson's. Their staff even includes a lymphedema specialist. Plus, they offer a great relaxation massage. Don't ignore your pain any longer. Let the therapists from In Touch Massage Knoxville help. Located just west of downtown Knoxville at 601 South Concord Street, or find them online at intouchmassagenknoxville.com and on the phone at 865-236-1425.
Due to a special purchase, Beatty Chevrolet has over 100 pre-owned crossovers and SUVs at tremendous savings during the $1 Million Markdown event. 100 crossovers and SUVs from Chevrolet, Ford, Nissan, Volkswagen, Toyota, Honda, Mazda, and more. All makes and models starting at $89.95. And we'll buy your vehicle on the spot. Plus, get the Beatty warranty for life during the $1 Million Markdown. Only at Beatty Chevrolet in Knoxville or shop BeattyChevrolet.com. Sale prices plus tax, title, and license.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around.
Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Always remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy.
It is time for Attaboy. I always love Attaboys on a Monday because we get a chance to highlight positivity over the weekend, really, really good stories, and I'm giving an Attaboy and an Attagirl because it includes males and females here. But I'm giving an Attaboy to the Georgia Bulldog fan base who wore all pink, the pink out, and they played Arkansas State over the weekend. And if you are kind of familiar with what's happening in Arkansas State or what has happened at Arkansas State, Blake Aronson, head football coach there, his wife was battling breast cancer for a while, and she passed away August the 19th. And she was the wife of head coach Blake Anderson. Well, Georgia, to show their support of Arkansas State and the Anderson family, they had a pink out to honor Wendy Anderson. So I'm giving an attaboy, attagirl to the Georgia Bulldog fan base. Really good gesture.
That was really cool to see, and I have to give an attaboy to the University of Tennessee. We talked about it on Friday. All of the T-shirts with the design from the young man who was bullied down there in Florida. We all know that story, but it was cool to see that continue to manifest over the weekend. Those shirts made an appearance on College Game Day. The band was wearing those shirts. The Rock was painted. There were shirts all over campus. It was really cool. So kudos and attaboy, attagirls to Tennessee fans and the University of Tennessee. That was cool to see that trend continue. And I even saw, I believe it was Rich Eisen of the NFL Network. He commented on Twitter, sent out a tweet saying that the young man should, or every school in the country, every sports team in the country should design a shirt in a similar manner to raise awareness for bullying. So I thought it was a very cool initiative that just continues to grow and grow. So kudos and an attaboy, attagirl to everybody involved and everybody who is supporting that situation.
865-255-03B Dry Waterproofing Hotline. We're live here at Beatty Chevrolet, Parkside Drive, home of the warranty for life here. Over 100 SUVs that you can choose from at a great, great price here at Beatty Chevrolet. Again, Parkside Drive, 9615 to be exact. Brad Matthews is back in the Low T Center studio. Jason Swain, Ben McKee right here at Beatty Chevrolet.
Question for you.
Answer for you, I hope.
Need your opinion and Brad's opinion, of course. You have mentioned on several occasions there's not a whole lot to break down in this UTC game because it's UTC. I want to read too much into it.
It was a spring game by halftime.
Correct.
Like
There's a few things we can look at.
Yeah, third quarter, it was a spring game. I was watching the game in the third quarter. I was like, who is that?
Exactly.
Is that a white running back?
Chip Omer get some carries?
Is that a white running back?
You said it, not me.
When's the last time I seen a white running back in Tennessee play like that?
It was cool, man.
I ain't say he
It was a
wasn't.
cool
He was
moment.
cool. It was good to see it. I'm just saying we haven't seen it, okay?
I love the white running back as much as I love the black kicker and punter.
I love it.
It's amazing.
How many shots has Chip Omer taken the last several years? That guy deserved an opportunity. Go out there and let him run a few between the tackles. He looked like he was having fun. His guys were blocking for him. Good to see that kind of moment in college football.
When Derek Brodus was out there kicking, I was like, yeah, baby, let's go. Let's go.
I texted Swain during the game, and I asked Swain, how telling is it that a white walk-on running back got in the game before J.J. Peterson?
Boy. But he did get out there, though, J.J. Pearson. He got out there and made some plays here and there.
He struggled lining up. On each play, he had to look to the sideline, and Jeremy Pruitt had to point to him and tell him what to do. There's a little CP going on there. But when the ball was snapped, he was flying around. He was running around out there, not afraid to stick his nose in the pile. So that was good to see. If he can just get the playbook down, that would be nice. But my what I want to get your opinion on is the comment that Gene Chizik had following the game, and that was kind of talking about on the SEC Network that yes, Tennessee's record is 1-2. But this isn't a bad football team. And I agree with him. I don't know. I'm not willing to say that this is a good football team whatsoever. I don't even know if it's an average football team. But I don't think they are bad.
No, I don't think they're bad either.
Like their record indicates.
No, I don't think they're bad either.
Because they played good against a good BYU team. And if JG doesn't play as bad of a game as he plays, Tennessee is 2-1 right now. Like, I do think, looking back on it in hindsight, that Georgia State game was a fluke. That wasn't a true indicator of the 2019 Tennessee football team.
I think it's too early to say Tennessee's a good football team or a bad football team. We've only played 3 games. So there's going to be a lot of development that's going to take place with our freshmen. There's going to be a lot of development that takes place with our secondary and linebackers. I mean, it's just the 3rd game of the season. So I think it's unfair to say Tennessee is good or bad right now. Let's kind of wait and see what happens at Florida. Let's see what happens when you play South Carolina, when you play Mississippi State, when you play some of these other teams, and there's something on the line, and it's an SEC game. Let's see.
And just to give full context, Brad, before you share your opinion, just want to give the exact quote from Gene Chizik. He said on SEC Now, following the game, I saw a team that was improved, and I saw a team that wanted to come out there and make a statement. They don't care about what anybody said about them all week. This team didn't quit. They didn't quit last week, and they didn't quit 2 weeks ago. I want to make this clear to everybody out there who has painted the narrative that this is a bad football team. Have they played great? Not necessarily, but this team will win some games.
My question is, what games will that be? Are they going to be games that Tennessee is not expected to win? And they need to be. They need to be. If Tennessee wants to still try to get to a bowl game, it needs to be games where they probably won't be picked in. That's my only question. What games will they be in? But I agree with Gene Chizik. I think Gene Chizik is one of the best former coaches who analyzes the game and is on TV. I think he's one of the best in the country, any conference. I think he does a really, really good job. So this is not a great football team, good football team, or a bad football team. And they should not listen to anybody. They should absolutely ignore everyone and everything. It's all about who's in that building. That's all it's about. We live in a time when social media can truly hurt your play because you're looking at what people are saying about you. You lost to Georgia State, so they're not going to say anything good about you. And for JG, it doesn't matter, how well you play or against UTC. You're not going to get credit for it because you played bad against BYU and you didn't play great against Georgia State. You got to come out this week and you got to get it done. Like, you can't be the reason why Tennessee comes up short. Like, you have to give Tennessee every chance to be successful. And if Tennessee loses, it can't be because of the quarterback play. It can't be because of late passes. It can't be because of, not getting a good indicator during the pre-snap read and making mistakes. If Tennessee loses, man, let it be on defense. Let it be on special teams. But a JG, he can't allow it to be on him. He has to come out and play his best game. And he did it last year against Auburn. So it's not like he can't do it. He just need to go do it. And not second-guess himself, not doubt himself, not listen to outside noise. I'm glad that he's not on Twitter. I know he jumped back on to offer prayers and good thoughts for his buddy Felipe Franks. And, yes, they are buddies. Usually those quarterbacks coming in together, they spend a lot of time together on the camp circuit, doing Elite 11, things like that. So, yeah, those guys talk. They're friends. So, I'm glad that he got on Twitter to do that. That was classy, but there's not a reason for Jared or really anyone to be looking on Twitter right now.
No.
Stay focused, stay locked in, do your job, circle the wagons, and it's all about the people in the building, not anyone else. I'm not saying the fans don't matter, because some fans will take it like that. Oh, you saying fans don't matter because you told them not to listen to us? No, you matter. But they don't need to be listening to you still complain about Georgia State. They don't need to listen to you, be disrespectful, and we got people changing their Avi names to disrespect JG. Like, be a grown-up.
That's too much.
Yeah, you're like, be a grown-up. So, no, they don't need to look at that. They don't need to listen to that. They need to stay locked in, stay focused.
Brad, your thoughts on Gene Chiswick's comments following the game?
I thought a lot of the things in which came out of his mouth were true, Ben, but I also thought the way he went about saying them, the stance he took, he kind of went over the top and was almost on that coach's ledge of defending another coach like Jeremy Pruitt when full scale, yeah, this team may win some games and, pull off in Auburn or Kentucky like last year, but it's bad right now. Georgia State should have never happened. That team just got waxed by Western Michigan 57-10.
Ugh.
BYU, you should have won. That's a better program. Yeah, they just beat USC, but you should have won that ball game. Things are not all good right now. It's not all sunshine and rainbows and daisies, and that's kind of how he came off. Like, it doesn't matter who's saying what. You don't listen to him. You go out and play ball. Well, some of the things that folks are saying are legit, and they should be said because there are major concerns. There had been major concerns and questions with this program. And we don't have them all answered yet.
Like we have a job. Everyone with the microphone or you have a job. You can say what you want to say. So say whatever you want to say. But the players should listen. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's what Gene Chiswick is trying to say. That's what I'm saying for sure is, don't listen. You don't have to listen. And, I don't think we can sit here and say, well, you can if you want to. I'm not going to say it. I don't know if this team is a bad football team or even a good football team. I just think it's too early to say one or the other. They had a bad performance against Georgia State. They had too many mistakes against BYU, costly mistakes that cost them the game late in that game. But I'm not going to sit here and call them a bad football team when they haven't even played an SEC game yet. I need to see a little bit more.
They've gotten better each week.
They have. Gene Chiswick
Keeping it in perspective from who you're playing and the opponent that's coming into Neyland, I think they have gotten better in each phase of the game each week. But they still haven't played an SEC opponent, like Swain said. So we're not there yet.
Yeah, and I think Chiswick is somewhat on the same page as you because he also said that I know what you're going to say. It's Chattanooga, but they lost last week to BYU, and BYU beat 24th-ranked USC today. That was not a bad loss. They are getting better. They need to improve. There's no question, but this team has not quit. And I want to give kudos to Jeremy Pruitt because I raked him over the coals following the Monday following the Georgia State loss, kind of bashing him for the way Tennessee played with effort. That three-game stretch of Missouri, Vanderbilt, and Georgia State dating back to last year, we have seen a completely different mentality these last 2 weeks. And Wes Rucker mentioned this in a column, it would have been easy for this football team to lay down and play uninspiring football against UTC this weekend. We can talk about UTC being an inferior opponent, but this team was the complete opposite of the team that showed up against Georgia State, and that is a positive sign going forward. I questioned whether or not Jeremy Pruitt could get this team ready to play for the rest of the year that Monday following the Georgia State loss, but these last 2 weeks, the way Tennessee has played hard, and they've lost because of just football mistakes and not effort mistakes, that is encouraging for the future, in my opinion.
Yeah, noon game against UTC, and I mean they did come out with some fire, with some energy, which is good to see. Yeah. Which is good to see, and it's not always easy to do. Come out playing a new game against a team like UTC. I don't care what the record says. It's still not easy to do, and we've seen more teams not do it than actually go out there and do it. So, first SEC game this weekend against Florida at the Swamp, and what you do in the first game, win or lose, does not mean that this is the team that you're going to be mid-October or November. Look at last year. we go to Charlotte, we play West Virginia, and we look like we didn't belong on the same field as those guys. Like, it was a beatdown. Like, it was apparent that we were inferior to West Virginia. And then the next game you win, and then you play Florida, and Florida beats us to the point where it looked like we quit. It looked like we quit at home versus Florida. So you get beat down there. This team went back to work. They got better, and then they put themselves in a position to have a chance to beat Auburn, and did that, and then they beat Kentucky at home. Now, they did lose 2 games late in the season, but last season was a clear example of a team that was inconsistent, that had some really high highs and some really low lows. So we've already hit our lows this season.
Hopefully.
Losing to Georgia State, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be some more. You still got to play Alabama. You still got to play Georgia. There's going to be some more lows. You got to stay the course and continue to work. You got to continue to work each and every day and focus on getting better. Because if you focus on getting better, even when you lose, you can take lessons from that can help you win. Like, Tennessee lost against Georgia last year, but that loss against Georgia wasn't the same as the loss at home against Florida. How we played against Georgia last year, it kind of made you think about, hey, we might have a chance against Auburn. Wait a minute.
It did.
We might have a chance because they actually got better. They lost, but they still got better, and they're working. Like, you can see that. And so that's what this team needs to continue to do. And you can't do it looking at Twitter, looking at the message boards. Just lock in, focus, and just work on getting better each and every day. Because, like Gene Chizik said, I think there's some wins out there in the schedule if they continue to work and you have good play from your quarterback, JG, not turning the football over.
Well, and the SEC East is setting up for you to have some nice chances at wins with all these backup quarterbacks playing. Now, I think, although 2 backup quarterbacks are in because of injury, South Carolina and Florida, I actually think that those offenses have gotten better with the quarterbacks that are playing now. Jake Bentley was a turnover machine. I think Ryan Helinski is a better option, even as a freshman, than Jake Bentley. Jake Bentley doesn't show up in big-time games. Against top 25 teams in his career, he was 1-10. And that's not all on him. I'm not a fan of throwing out the starting record for any quarterback, high school level, college level, or professional level, because there's so much more that goes into the record than just the quarterback play. But I think Ryan Helinski or South Carolina is better off with Ryan Helinski, and then I think Florida's better off with Kyle Trask. He's a 10 times better leader. Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask is 10 times better leader than Felipe Franks. He looked better on Saturday when he was in the game, led Florida to the win, as we all saw. But, I mean, Vanderbilt has an iffy quarterback situation. Kentucky's on its backup quarterback with Sawyer Smith. Terry Wilson is out for the year. He's not the dual-threat quarterback that Terry Wilson is, and dual-threat quarterbacks give Tennessee problems right now on defense because of Tennessee's inability to wrap up at times. So I agree fully with old Gene Chizik. I thought it was funny, though. Somebody on the text box asked if Gene Chizik was applying for the Tennessee job like Urban Meyer was 2 weeks ago.
No, I don't know, man. Gene Chizik, Brad said Gene Chizik was being a little nice on the coaches, because that coaching circle. I remember when in 2017 when Gene Chizik said that if Butch Jones ain't careful, he's gonna be sitting next to me.
Because he thought the mics were cut off.
No, he said it. No, he said.
Oh, that's right.
He said it on air. Yeah, he was like, I don't know what's going on with this team, but if Butch Jones not careful, he's gonna be sitting next to me. I was like, whoa.
All about the relationships behind the scenes.
Yeah, we don't hear that often. Usually coaches do cape for each other and take up for each other, and not really give us the truth sometimes when it comes to a coach failing at his job and maybe needing to be replaced. So
we all know Lyle rubbed people the wrong way, though.
Oh, phrasing, Brad, phrasing.
Yeah, he did. He did do that. 865-250-503. Beat Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Anything else there on the text box?
There's a lot on the text box. Chip Payne asks, are we going to see any more players switching positions? Has Jim Chaney finally found his starting 5 linemen?
Hey, Calvert at tackle, Kayron Calvert tackle, Donnell Wright at guard, Brandon Kennedy at center, Trey Smith at guard, and then who'd you have?
It was Wanye at left tackle, but Pruitt said after the game a lot of that had to do with Jameer Johnson being nicked up and not being able to play. So I actually think Wanye Morris might, in terms of who has played the best, I think he has played the best. The first 2 weeks of the season, he did not play this past week. So I imagine Jameer Johnson will be in the lineup this weekend against Florida. If he's not in the lineup, then he's in the top 6, top 7. He's going to be playing a lot.
Trey Smith has not hit enough people in his last 2 years. So he was taking that out on UTC a little bit, got a 15-yard penalty. I don't have a problem with that in the UTC game. Trey Smith will have to control that this weekend because that's the play that can get you beat. 15 yards is a lot of yards when you're playing against a team like Florida. So you got to be really, really careful with playing past the whistle.
Yeah.
Play to the echo of the whistle, but you got to be careful there with Trey Smith. I saw a good question on the text box about Bryce Thompson.
Yes, we have 2 questions back to back. Both came in at 8:09 a.m. from Moody Vol and Jay Shep 80 asking if you think Bryce Thompson will play against Florida this weekend.
You brought him back to practice. He didn't dress out against UTC.
I didn't even see him on the sideline.
If you brought him back to practice, why you not gonna let him play against Florida?
That's a good point.
I mean, you've cleared him enough to practice.
Yeah. Because maybe you do want to his next court hearing is the next Tuesday following the Florida game. So maybe you don't play him just in case that doesn't go in his favor. I would put my money on him playing against Georgia, that being his first appearance of the season. And I say that, I would not have said that on Friday. I would have said Florida. But I thought him not even being on the sideline, although he was cleared to practice, was telling of the situation. I think if he's playing against Florida, he's on the sideline against UTC. Why is he allowed to practice, but he's not allowed to be on the sideline?
Why is he allowed to practice, but he ain't allowed to play against Florida?
Because I think you may want to wait and see how Tuesday goes, just to make sure it does go in his favor.
Because he
just to be on the safe side.
You know, he practiced. And he may be still out of shape. Maybe not. Maybe not ready. They didn't need him. 3 games. He didn't play in 3 games, whatever. But why not play him against Florida? Him coming back and practicing, to me, and to wait till the court hearing doesn't make any sense. Like he's back with the team now. So if you're waiting for the court hearing to bring him back, then you should have kept him away last week and not let him practice. So he practiced. It's Florida week. Let him play.
Yeah.
Why not? That's.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying I think they may just be cautious with the situation.
I mean, you've had multiple weeks to find out enough about the situation, what happened that night with Bryce Thompson when he got arrested. So based on what you found out, do you need a court hearing to tell you whether he should play or not? That just don't make sense to me, man. I think you play him, and if the court hearing is bad and you got to suspend him and kick him off, whatever, do that then. But he's playing. I mean, he's practicing, so might as well let him play.
And I do just want to clarify, I did not see him on the sideline. So he may have been down there, but I did not see him on the sideline, and I went out of my way to look for him. I know for a fact he wasn't in a jersey down there. So he may have been in a polo. He may have been in a windbreaker or a sweatshirt or whatever. He may have been down there, but I did not see him down there, and I went out of my way 2 or 3 times to look for him during media timeouts, and I did not see him. So he may have been down there, but I did not see him.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and argue whether he should be back or should not be back, because I can really see both sides of the argument, to be honest. I can see folks who are like, yo, that was his second chance. He blew it. He messed up. He shouldn't be on the team. I get it. And then I also understand folks who are like, it's allegations. It's he said, she said. You know, even though it's a pattern of behavior as far as making threats, it's a he said, she said thing. and you get him some help, and then you move forward. Like, I understand that side of it too. All I'm saying is you allowed him to practice last week. You play Florida this week. Why not play him? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Maybe Vol Nation just texts me. Makes a good point. Maybe it's a gamesmanship by Pruitt, because now Florida doesn't know whether he's going to play or not.
I guess. If I'm Florida, I would be expecting Bryce Thompson to play.
Yes.
Yeah. And if Bryce Thompson plays, who is taking the seat? Is it Warren Burrell or is it Alontae Taylor?
Neither one of them have played all that well in my book. I mean, Tennessee only allowed 70-something passing yards, I believe. Or UTC did not throw for a lot of yards, but especially in the first quarter, they had some open receivers that if the receiver catches the pass or if the quarterback doesn't misfire, I mean, they're 8, 10, 12-yard gains.
So who you putting on the bench?
I don't know. It's not my decision, thankfully. But both have not really impressed me to begin the season. All I know is that Schamberger will be the nickel.
Man, I think it's important who starts.
Oh, it is important, especially against Florida. Florida has a great wide receiver room. It terrifies me.
Yeah.
Van Jefferson going up against Alontae Taylor, Warren Burrell. Ugh. Thankfully, Kadarius Toney is not playing.
I'm not worried about Bryce and Van Jefferson. But you know, Alontae Taylor, you know, he's taking a little bit of a step back, and you know, maybe his confidence, because he didn't have a shortage of confidence last year, so he just needs to get his confidence back. He can run with wide receivers. You know, he made some good plays last year. He just needs to get his confidence back. But that's the question that I have. I mean, if Bryce Thompson plays, then who's sitting?
Warren Burrell for me.
Yeah, are you starting Bryce Thompson? Like, you're going to get criticized anyway. You've already been criticized for allowing him to come back and practice.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, might as well play him. And if you're going to play him, you might as well start him if he's ready. If physically he's in condition to play and start, you might as well start him. You might as well.
Yeah. Brad, why would you put Burrell on the bench?
Just because I feel like making a break on balls in the air so far, Alontae Taylor's been doing a better job of that. Florida's offense, they're going to get the ball out quickly of Trask's hands at times, so I think in this case, Alontae Taylor is the better option to go moving forward. Warren Burrell's also a true freshman. He's not going to be able to, you know, mentally prepare himself for the swamp until you're in it and you live it. Maybe work him in after the first couple of series, but if you have to pull somebody to start Bryce Thompson, I'm pulling Warren Burrell.
I don't disagree.
I'm okay with that. I mean, Warren Burrell has not played against Florida. Now, Alontae Taylor hasn't played in the swamp, but I mean,
He still played on the road in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're going to be cheering loud anyways while Florida's on offense. So, I mean, you should be okay.
Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, if you feel more comfortable with Alontae Taylor because it's at the swamp at the beginning, then
the ball's in the air. He makes a better break on the ball right now. And that's the sole reason.
I'm cool with that. I don't disagree with you at all there. But I just again, I think if Bryce has done everything as far as preparing his body, he's physically in condition to play, and he knows his stuff, you might as well play him. You've already been criticized by, Brenda Tracy already. I mean, you've already been criticized. And she is her along with Rachel Barbeau, they've been the two females just really just changing college football for the better. And I want to say first game of the season, Vanderbilt had her in for
the Georgia game,
the first ever set the expectation game in the SEC. And if you don't know her story, she was sexually assaulted. I want to say at Oregon State when she was a student, and she's been going around speaking, and she does a really, really good job. And I expect her to criticize, Tennessee's decision to let Bryce practice. I have no problem with her. being vocal there. So you've already been criticized, so you might as well play him. That's all I'm saying. 865-200-5503. B Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Live at Beatty Chevrolet, Parkside Drive. 9615 is the address. Come on out. Great selection of pre-owned vehicles. Home of the warranty for life. BeattyChevrolet.com.
Touchdown or turnover is up next on the Swain event.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. The next thing you know, you're being arrested for DUI. Be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call DUI and criminal defense attorney Marcos Garza. Put this number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty, say Garza. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com.
In debt? In too deep? Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union says, stop treading water and get out of the deep end. If you've got debt, make a splash and come get some cash. If Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union can refinance your car, boat, camper, motorcycle, credit cards, personal or home loan, they'll pay you up to $500. So come take the plunge right now. Refinance your loans. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union will pay you. 5 convenient locations. Visit atfcu.com. Equal housing lender.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Live here at Beatty Chevrolet, Parkside Drive, the Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant. All right, touchdown turnover. That is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. Better rates and better service. ATFCU.com is the website. Touchdown or turnover. Tennessee will have more rushing yards than Florida this weekend. Tennessee will have more rushing yards than Florida this weekend. Touchdown or turnover.
I want to say touchdown, but I don't trust Tennessee's front seven. I did not think the defensive line played all that well against UTC, considering the opponent. I thought Tennessee's linebackers were the main reason Tennessee was able to get some pressure on the quarterback. And statistically, that is backed up because Darrell Middleton, I believe it was Darrell Middleton, was the only defensive lineman to record a quarterback hurry. When Tennessee was getting in the backfield, it was because of Tennessee's linebackers. And how can you not be excited about Tennessee's young linebacker core right now? Roman Harrison, Quavaris Crouch, Henry To'o, Jeremy Banks, potentially J.J. Peterson if he can come on along. I mean, those are 5 linebackers right there that could be the best unit on your football team 2-3 years down the road from now, maybe even next year. But I don't trust Tennessee's defensive line. I think Tennessee will have success running the football against Florida. Again, I think the offensive line has come along these first couple of games. I think it is great news that they have finally settled on a 5 or 6 because I think, again, like I said last segment, Jameer Johnson, I think you have to throw him in there as well. Tennessee ran the football well against a physical BYU defense. I think they'll do the same against a good physical Florida front 7. But the reason I think Florida rushes for more yards is because Tennessee's defensive line is very suspect. Daniel Batuli being back will definitely help, but I just do not trust Tennessee's front 7 right now. So I'll go turnover. I think Florida rushes for more.
Yeah, I'm going to go turnover too. Florida still had 138 rush yards against Kentucky. And I'm not worried about Dane Batuli. I'm not worried about Henry To'o. I'm worried about when Jeremy Banks get in there.
Shannon Reed gets in there.
Yeah, and just being in the right plays at the right time, understanding run fits. That's what I worry about. Us still lining up properly. Our front 3 just needs to do a better job of creating more havoc for the opposing offensive line. So I'll say turnover. If I had to put money on it, I would say turnover. This game is going to be about running the football. It's going to be about winning at the line of scrimmage. And Florida has some questions. Tennessee has some questions too. Tennessee was really successful. BYU, outside zone, did a little bit of it against UTC and was successful there too. Can we continue to run the outside zone against Florida? One thing that stood out to me in the UTC game was getting Tim Jordan back and getting that 3-man rotation going.
Looks good, too.
Because I think it's going to be important against Florida and against the rest of the teams that you're going to play inside the SEC. I think it's really hard to rely on 2 running backs behind this offensive line during SEC play. Now, our running backs, they're not Najee Harris, big old back that can take more hits. Speaking of Najee Harris,
and Hurdle.
Let me stop. Speaking of Najee Harris,
what a ball game!
It's 4th down and 3. Great play call and play design by Steve Sarkisian. You had like double and triple picks. So Najee Harris is lined up on the right side of the quarterback. He circles all the way to the left side of the field. He catches the ball kind of on the back shoulder, back hip, stiffs arms, shoulder shrugs a defender, and then a safety or DB is coming up to tackle him. He jumps completely over him. Landed, didn't fall, landed, and ran in for a touchdown.
Just ridiculous.
That's not even fair. That's not fair. How are you going to beat a team that's doing that to you on 4th down and 3?
I have a question for you. On these pick plays, what do they teach you as a receiver in order to not get called for an illegal pick?
All you want
gotta look natural
to create is you want the defender to have to run the hump. So,
but do you try to sell it as you're running a route?
Absolutely. You're not trying to run.
You have to.
You're not trying to run directly into the other defender. All you want is to slow him down just a little bit. You want him to have to run over the top. Slow him down just a little bit. Buzz his feet just a little bit. Because if he buzzes his feet and my guy's running full speed, I have created separation. That is the purpose of a pick.
The reason I ask you is because it was a great play design by Mr. Sarkisian. It was a tremendous play from Najee Harris. But Jerry Jeudy was basketball style boxing his man out on the pick. It did not look natural.
I have to go see
it was clear the entire way, and it should have never happened.
I need to check the tape.
It never should have been a touchdown.
I need to check the tape, man. I need to check the tape.
Again, I'm not trying to take anything away from the play. It was a tremendous play, but I think it was Jerry Jeudy. It was one of the Bama receivers.
It was Jeudy.
He was boxing out as if he was Jarnell Stokes down on the block.
They're calling that more in the league now.
They are.
Speaking of, well, but because
Steelers got in trouble for it yesterday. Took a critical first down, I believe it was, off the board.
you can challenge pass interference calls now, so it makes it a whole lot easier to challenge, but harder for the referees because I don't like the rule, to be honest. But anyways, speaking of officiating, SEC officiating on Twitter, I'm pretty sure they got killed during the Alabama-Carolina game because I saw a hold that was called on Carolina on the fake field goal that I thought was a little ticky-tacky. And then Alabama has a successful player on offense, and they don't call the hold. And it was a pretty clear hold. Pretty clear hold. So, we still doing this? SEC officials, we're still making these boneheaded plays? Boneheaded missed calls? And the NFL got it worse because the NFL against it was the Saints and the Rams, it was a clear fumble, clear scoop and score fumble from the Saints defensive player, Jordan.
Cameron Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan. Cam Jordan. And you're supposed to just let it play out and then rule after the fact if it was a forward pass or not. But they blew it dead, and dead ball plays can't be reversed, can't be reviewed. So
Man, I ran
they screwed
80
the Saints
yards
again.
for nothing.
They screwed the Saints again. Officiating in that game made me turn television. It made me not want to watch the rest of the game because the Saints got screwed in that game, big time. So officiating is still a problem at the pro level, and I saw some inconsistent calls there in the Bama-Carolina game. It's not the reason why Bama won because Bama was a better team. They didn't need any help, but I didn't think the officiating was that much better.
Brad, what for the touchdown turnover, do you think Tennessee will rush for more yards?
I think they do to win. They need to do that to win. If I'm laying money down, I would go turnover. I think with a top 30 rushing defense nationally, what Florida currently has, they're typically strong on the defensive side of the ball, especially that front seven. They're not going to pose as strong of a rushing threat offensively, but with the weaknesses we've shown in our front seven, yes, you get Batuli back, but that front three, they're very concerning right now. So I think Tennessee needs to win the rushing battle to win. But if I had to bet, I would say no, that's a turnover, and Florida wins the rushing battle.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how many snaps Daniel Batuli plays because I don't think you can take him or Henry To'oTo'o off the football field this Saturday.
He got to play, man.
You just can't. They got to play the entire game, every single snap.
Batuli got to play until his leg falls off.
Essentially.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't trust the inside linebackers behind him. Unfortunately,
he got to play, man. He don't have a choice. He has to play, and has to play well. Simple as that. He's responsible for Michael Piron not running the football.
Gizzard did make a good point. Florida had 138 rushing yards, like you mentioned, but 76 of those rushing yards came on that late touchdown.
That's right.
So I'm not going to sit here and try to do the math of what they had before that play, but I know that it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, they didn't have a great day rushing the football against Kentucky's front, but we don't have Kentucky's front either. So if I had to bet money, I would lean towards Florida having more rushing yards. But it's not like it has been in the past where you enter this game and you're like, oh, well, Tennessee definitely not going to run the football, and Florida definitely will. I don't know, man, because Florida they didn't do a really good job against Kentucky. And Tennessee has had a couple games where we have been able to run the football.
And there's going to be a distinct difference. As crazy as it sounds, Kentucky's front seven is a lot better than Tennessee's front seven.
It is.
So Florida, theoretically, on paper, should have more success running the football against Tennessee.
Yeah. That's right. Florida knocked the game wide open on the long play. Kentucky had that game won, man. Golly.
That was such a fun game to watch.
It was.
Kentucky had that game won.
Same old Kentucky-Florida game every single year. where it looks like Florida is such a beautiful football team.
Kentucky had 4 turnovers to Florida's 2. And, I mean, their backup quarterback was playing pretty well, but then he just started making some bad throws and just gave Florida an opportunity, and they took it. Man. Sound like I was rooting for Kentucky, doesn't it? Maybe I was rooting for Kentucky. I don't know.
I wanted neither to win. I wanted.
I just find more joy in watching Florida lose than Kentucky lose in this scenario.
I think that's how
I wasn't
feel,
rooting for each one, or one in particular, but I find more joy personally when I see Florida lose contests like that. So.
I do too, but for some reason I found myself rooting for Florida to win because I wanted them to be 3-0 this weekend, so that if Tennessee did pull off the upset, it was against an undefeated top 10 Florida team at home. And plus, I wanted.
But remember, Ben,
I
it's
wanted,
about how we package it.
I know.
You're not rooting. You're not rooting. You enjoy it more when they win or lose.
I think we can say that we weren't rooting to make it sound better, but in every single sporting event, no matter the sport, we all find ourselves rooting for one team or the other, whether we hate both teams or not. And also, I also wanted Matt Jones to have a miserable Saturday night and Sunday.
Yeah, I found myself.
See, Swain knows.
I found myself wanting Kentucky to win that game. I'll admit it. I want to see Florida lose.
If I had my way, both would lose, but unfortunately that can't happen.
No, that can't happen at all. Now, if it was Kentucky basketball versus Florida basketball, that's a little bit different. But it's still Kentucky football.
I can tell you right now, I will root for Florida.
In basketball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got a connection now, Swain. Quez Glover, point guard at Bearden.
Yeah,
been calling his games the last 3 years.
Yeah, probably. I get it. Yeah. And I'm a big Quez Glover fan too, man. So.
I also think the reason I was kind of found myself rooting for Florida is because my Kentucky basketball hate was coming through. I think that bled over into football.
It's so strong.
Just because Kentucky and Tennessee on the basketball court has been so intense the last 2 to 3 years under Rick Barnes and Admiral and Grant. I think that it kind of bled over to the football field a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
As it should.
865-250-503. On BeattyChevrolet.com, their website, there's a $500 coupon on the new Silverado. So there's $15,000 off of the Silverado Crew cab, and the new four-door Silverado starting at $27,995. Over 100 pre-owned SUVs starting at $5,995. Less than $6,000 for over 100 pre-owned SUVs right here on the lot at Beatty Chevrolet, 9615 Parkside Drive.
Now, we have failed to mention.
I would like to make a quick point if possible.
Go for it.
Here in the text box, we've got Vol in Birmingham making a good point. Kentucky lost that game on the 4th and 1 when the QB didn't sneak it. They tried to run the ball from shotgun. Reverting back to a previous conversation last week, but in the NFL when we were talking about Cam Newton, the decision-making not to sneak on numerous 4th and inches, 4th and shorts. Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, but we were thinking from your perspective, you're like, gosh, this is a guy who's injury-riddled. He's got a shoulder deal going on. You just don't want to risk it sneaking him up the middle like that, correct?
Correct.
What did we see Carson Wentz do last night on numerous occasions?
Sneak on 4th down and
numerous
1,
occasions.
3rd and 1.
This guy was getting beaten and battered, tossed around the field like a rag doll, has a history of injuries, the franchise guy, it's all on his shoulders, and he's still sneaking. He's still putting forth that effort and laying his body on the line, play in and play out. That's the difference I was trying to make last week between Cam Newton and your typical franchise guy who I'm pointing out and I'm saying, yes, this is my quarterback. I'm riding with him every single week.
That sounds good, but if Carson Wentz has the same shoulder injury that Cam Newton does and the same ankle injury that Cam Newton does, I bet they're not calling those quarterback sneaks on 4th and 1.
I mean, Carson got jacked up in his ribs, man, during that game.
Yeah, but he was healthy. I mean, he definitely
he got hit so many times.
He got hit a ton. I'm not disputing that. He got thrown around like a rag doll, but you can get hit and jacked up a bunch of times and still be healthy enough to run that quarterback sneak. So, I think if Carson Wentz has the same injuries that Cam has, then they're not
I
running
think he
those
does the
quarterback
same
sneaks.
thing he does last night.
I'm not going to question. You can question Cam for all his theatrics off the field, touchdown celebrations, and all that fun stuff. You can't question his toughness.
No, I'm not questioning his toughness. I'm questioning the play call and the decision not to run him on the quarterback sneak.
I think that's telling of Cam's situation.
Maybe. Well, maybe.
Because who is Cam's backup quarterback? We don't know, and I think there's a reason for that. You don't want to risk just Cam no longer being available. What if he goes in for the quarterback sneak and who are they playing? The Bucks, and one of the Bucks linebackers or defensive lineman just comes in and just a nasty hit on that shoulder, and he's done for the season. There goes the Panther season right down the drain.
Hey, man, 1 yard game on the line. I would have probably snuck Cam on that one. 1 yard game on.
Now,
the line.
game on
If
the line.
I'm
Game on
Cam,
the line is a little
and
bit
if
different.
I'm the competitive if I have the competitive nature that everybody thinks that I have, I'm looking at Ron Rivera and saying, Coach, give it to me. I'm sneaking. I'm falling forward. I'm 6'5", 230 plus. I'm getting this yard. I'm getting these inches.
Yeah, I'm not going to question Cam's toughness or his competitiveness or his competitive nature at all. And being maybe you have
His
a point
will
there.
to win is what I'm questioning.
But that's questioning his toughness.
Yeah, I'm not going to question his will to win either, man. They
That's what I'm questioning.
They called the play. I mean, the Panthers OC called the play.
North Turner.
And Cam ran the play that was called. I just would have ran him on a sneak. 4th down and 1. I mean, just get a yard.
Brad, if Cam Newton didn't have the injuries, and they appear to be severe injuries, and he's playing through them, if he didn't have those existing, I would be 1,000% with you. But because of the shoulder injury and the risk of a quarterback sneak on that play, I'm not going to question Cam in that situation.
And honestly, the Eagles have probably more of a reason to protect Carson Wentz than the Panthers and Cam Newton, because they got rid of Nick Foles.
That's my point.
They got rid of Nick Foles, and they don't have the same type of backup now. I will say,
and they've been a contender.
Eagles backup came in, did a really good job, but something like Carson Wentz was a gladiator last night.
He was 100%.
He really was. But that doesn't mean that you have to maybe question Cam Newton's, heart or question his will to win. They just didn't feel confident in Cam to run the sneak.
Yeah.
But they did feel confident enough in Wentz to run the sneak last night.
Yeah, and I told Swain this last week, I think it was, off air, that I watched the All or Nothing with the Carolina Panthers, the HBO or the Amazon version of HBO's Hard Knocks, and they followed the Carolina Panthers last year when Cam was dealing with his shoulder injury last season, and I've kind of changed my tune on Cam following me watching that documentary. I still think he's a drama queen off the field and loves the attention and definitely seeks the camera and wants to be taken photos of all the time and whatnot. I still think that. But when it comes to football, I don't question his will to win, his toughness, his preparation. I mean, he lives at the football facility. He is a great teammate, a great leader when the camera is not on. And that's kind of hard to say when they're doing a documentary on him because I saw it through the camera. But I'm saying, like, when they're not at practice, when there's nobody there, when it's just him in a room with the quarterbacks coach, with the backup quarterbacks, with the receivers, I mean, he shows great leadership. So that kind of changed my tune on Cam. And I would encourage anybody to watch that because I do think you come out with a different perspective on him than you do just from watching him on social media or him dressing ridiculously after the game or the touchdown celebrations and things of that nature.
Let's get to Buck Nasty on the B-Drive Waterproofing Hotline. Buck Nasty, good morning.
How about that W, boys?
I like it, man. You talking about my Bears or you talking about the Tennessee?
Tennessee, I don't care about no Bears. Besides Cordero Patterson running 22.3 mile an hour down the sideline.
He was moving.
You don't care about your friend's team, man? I thought we were friends.
I just root on former Vols. That's it. That's all I do. I don't even watch the NFL much.
Cordero Patterson was riding. Whew. He's so fast. Still got
I was mad at Ben Steelers last week, though, for not covering, but your Bears made up for it yesterday.
See? The reason why you should like the Bears.
There you go.
Get you paid.
Oh, boys, y'all was talking about your touchdown turnover a while ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there's one misleading thing here.
What's that?
Extensions of the run, wide receiver screens, and that's going to be the key to beating these boys. We're going to have to line up against when you know they're at the advantage at the defensive line. I say we put pressure on them DBs. What, they're already missing 2 for the first half and 1 probably for the whole game.
There's one that is
One got a target in.
Yep.
Yeah. I say it's going to be hot in the swamp. It's going to be blistering hot. Cramps will happen in the second half. I say we line up out there, 5 wide constantly, run West Coast offense, and if JG can take a little zip off the ball and get the wide receivers the ball, I think we got a chance at it outrushing them through extensions of the run, not lining up and outrushing them. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think the screen game. I think the bubble screens to the wide receivers and tunnel screens to the wide receivers, where the receivers start outside but gets the ball inside. They're behind the line of scrimmage, obviously, but I think this is a game where you have to utilize the screen game, and you use certain passes that can be an extension of the running game. I agree with you 100%. You wonder why you didn't see a lot of it against BYU. Maybe you see a lot of it against Florida. Maybe. I'm with you, Buck Nasty. I'm with you 100%, man. Hour 3 coming up.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Hey, it's Chris Lowe of ESPN. And listen, maybe Jason Swain didn't wear number 1 quite as well as the great Leonard Little did at Tennessee, but he is your go-to guy for all things Big Orange. Join us weekly on the Swain event, brought to you by Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine and trsportsmedicine.com.
We're here with Dr. Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy.
Hey y'all, check it out. Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue has a brand new happy hour special right now that you don't want to miss. Get $2 off of their fake barbecue queso appetizer from 2 to 4 p.m. That's queso loaded with your choice of pork, chicken, or brisket and served with Frito scoops. And for the rest of the month, check out their new Pig and Peaches salad for $11. This thing is loaded with salad mix, grape tomatoes, fire-roasted peaches, pickled red onions, pork belly burnt-ends, goat cheese, and topped with a delicious balsamic vinaigrette. Dead End Barbecue. The barbecue search is over.
While the players are gearing up for the gridiron, it's time for you to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Peter Millar, and all of those retro logos you love. And the 2 for $28 t-shirt deal? Game changer. And don't forget about the rest of your game day crew. There are plenty of options for the entire family and to upgrade that tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com. It's football time in Tennessee.
Hey there, Swain event listeners. It's football time in Tennessee. While you're cheering on the Vols, you might be thinking, I would love to buy a home with a great place to entertain for games. Or maybe you're thinking, I'm tired of hosting all of these people at my house and we don't need all this space anymore. Whatever your plans may be, when you are ready to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call me, Jennifer Morris, at Keller Williams Realty, 865-694-5904, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com, and go Vols.
If you aren't following the Swain event on Twitter, then are you even on Twitter? Hit that follow button. It's the right thing to do.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Daddy and Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant. First road game of the season for Tennessee. And you would think that the players enjoy the home games the most. And some of the time that may be the case. But guys like Casey Clausen enjoy playing on the road. And this may sound crazy, but in a way, you can actually focus a little bit more on the road. At home, you have to worry about tickets. People want tickets. You got family coming in town. So you're talking to them during the week. You're setting up tickets, doing all those things. You got to get your suit all ready to go, parking and all that. There's a lot of distractions sometimes with home games. Away games, there's less distractions. It's weird. And for some guys, they play better on the road. And JG, there's evidence that points to him playing better on the road. Last year against South Carolina, he didn't play bad. That was a road game. Auburn, obviously he was National Player of the Week in his performance against Auburn. That was a road game. I would rather play Florida on the road this year than at home. Last year you played at home, and it was so much of a buildup. The 2012 Florida game, there was so much buildup. It was the last time that Tennessee hosted College Game Day. I remember. I think both teams were ranked. A lot of buildup in that game, and Tennessee came out pretty strong. And Mason plays early, but Florida hit us in the mouth, and
which year?
Just wasn't able to recover. 2012, Dooley's last year.
Yep.
Chaney was the offense coordinator.
I believe Tennessee led beginning of the third quarter, and then Florida kind of started to run away with it there. I was at that game.
It was a lot of energy early in the game.
CP caught a touchdown on a slant in the end zone, and then in the second half, just opened up.
Well, you know what they say about Tennessee, Florida players?
Well, they don't even view it as a rivalry game.
They say continue to play because Tennessee will mess it up. It will quit. Tennessee, it was 14-10 at halftime, and then Florida after the third quarter had the lead and was pretty much a wrap. They scored 17 points in the third quarter, and Tennessee only scored 6. And then it was a wrap there. Tennessee didn't score anything in the fourth quarter, and Florida scored 10 in the fourth quarter. It was 37-20 in that game. Tyler Boyd had two picks, and but yeah, that was the last time that Tennessee, Florida, at home, College Game Day was in town. There's a lot of anticipation.
Well, Game Day was in town for the 16 game as well when Tennessee beat the Streak.
Was Game Day there then?
Because I attended Game Day that day.
Really?
Yep.
That was a.
I had a Swain event sign.
That
too.
was a hazy day.
Was it, Brad?
That was a wild day, man. A lot of crazy memories that day.
So 16 was the last time we had college game day here?
Correct.
Wow. I thought it was 12.
Nope, 16 was college game day because that was the day Tennessee snapped the streak in the smoky gray uniforms. And then as I was making my way back to my apartment, took me a construction barrel home with me as a memento for the game.
So you stole something?
Yeah, kind of. I gave it back when I moved out of the apartment. I was excited after the game, and I said, "Ooh, an orange construction barrel. I'm going to take that home with me." I shoved it in the back of my sister's car and took it to my apartment. It sat in my apartment for the 2 years that we lived there, and then I gave it back.
So you roped your sister into your crime too?
And my roommates.
A construction barrel.
A construction barrel.
Tennessee
I don't know.
was actually on game day 3 times.
And you were sober?
If y'all remember.
I was sober.
Man, I'm really questioning your decision-making skills here.
I was excited. I was leaving the stadium. I was on
the big orange one.
Yeah, the big orange one. I think I was on Clinch, right there next to up towards the top of the hill near the fort, and we were going to a popular chicken place right off campus.
Okay.
I just saw a construction barrel. I was excited, and I was like, you know what? Probably trying to be funny
Man, I
too.
just don't get it.
It was kind of funny because I was dragging a construction barrel all across campus, and then I plopped it outside of the chicken place and sat there while I ate, and then on my way home, grabbed the construction barrel and shoved it into my sister's car, and it sat in the kitchen of my apartment
That
for
makes
2
no
years.
sense.
I'll find a
For a
You're a weird
sober
dude,
person
Ben.
to do that.
I'll find a photo of it.
Oh my
Hey,
goodness.
3 times game day was at a Tennessee game in 2016.
that's
Virginia
right.
Tech, Tennessee, Battle of Bristol, Florida, Tennessee, and Knoxville, and then at College Station for the 9-8 matchup against A&M.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Now, I remember now. Yep. That's right. All right, let's get to the phones this morning, and let's bring in Volstorm. Volstorm, good morning.
So not only is Ben a snitch, he's a thief.
The criminal, man. The criminal.
What you doing stealing construction barrels? That's taxpayer money, son.
I know. I knew it was. I knew you paid for that particular construction barrel, and I said, you know what? Volstorm paid for this. I'm going to take it back to my apartment with me.
What's the purpose of stealing that? Like I get.
don't know. I just
I
did
get stealing a street sign.
It's a talk.
How old are you now?
He's 24. No,
24.
you know how
Still
you are.
stealing the construction barrel. And you're out of college, too.
Oh, and I took a cone, too.
You know the worst part of it is that he was sober. Like, I would understand if he wasn't sober. But you did that.
Right.
And you was coherent and you did that? What?
I did.
I'm just glad they didn't have social media and camera phones when I was in college, boys.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. I'm glad, because we would have been in trouble.
Hey, Swain, how'd your Bears do this weekend?
We won, man. Game winning
Brad,
field goal.
Brad, how'd your Ravens do?
2-0, baby.
I hate you.
Huh.
Record-setting weekend.
You know, there's something I'm missing here. I just
Go ahead and
can't
ask
put
me.
my finger
Go ahead
on
and
it,
ask
though.
me. You don't want to, though, but go ahead and ask me.
Ask you what?
Ask me how my Steelers did. I've got my answer ready. You won't like it either.
How did your Steelers do?
The same as your Titans did.
First of all, they're not my Titans.
Oh, so you don't have an NFL team? Serious question.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you like the NFL?
Fan.
Oh, I love the NFL. Yeah, I'm usually rooting for I'm kind of like Buck Nasty. I root for the Tennessee players. You know, I will root for the in-state team, but I can't say I'm a fan.
Huh. I honestly thought you were a Titans fan. Dang, I'll come back in and work. My Steelers lost, and it's all Daniel McCullers and Dante Moncrief's fault.
Yeah, blame it on them.
I will, because it is
Really?
their fault.
How's Smith Schuster doing as the feature back now?
He actually did really good. He had over 100 yards, 6-7 catches. It wasn't him.
The Patriots did a pretty good job over the weekend. They had a new toy, man.
Yeah, he caught a touchdown when he should have been flagged for offensive pass interference, pushing off.
Yeah, man. The big winner is Antonio Brown. He's for the Patriots, scoring touchdowns, man.
Y'all are mean.
So maybe it was the organization. Huh.
Ooh.
Psych. Y'all are mean to me.
Guys,
Because
let's take the Chattanooga win for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee beat a high school team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as Swain so successfully racially profiled, we got a white running back in there.
In before J.J. Peterson.
Hey, Chip's earned that rep.
Can anybody name a white running back in Tennessee since Chip Saturday?
Since Chip, no. Before Chip,
not a running back, maybe some fullback.
Yeah, so
Johnny Majors.
Yeah, so it was a beatdown. It was a beatdown, and let's not say that there's no value in beating down the UTC, because there's certainly value. But we don't need to get ahead of ourselves here and think that we're going to expect the same performance against Florida, and there's still not things we need to work on, because there certainly is. But hey, it was good. It was good to beat down on an inferior team. I mean, UTC got all the way down to score a touchdown, and then they had a penalty, and then they fumbled the snap. They was intimidated from day one. From the moment they stepped on the football field, Tennessee was winning that football game by a lot. Those guys were scared.
I'm with Vols made Texas. We should have scheduled UTC twice. Scheduled them for the season opener instead of Georgia State.
Oh, God, that sounds pathetic.
Yeah, just makes you even madder about the Georgia State loss.
Yeah, and the BYU one.
Oh, guys. Well, unfortunately, it's Florida week.
It's Florida week, man. Titans-Bill is next.
And we get to go up against the backup quarterback because we do so well.
I can't wait to see what happens. Titans-Bill just messaged me and told me, because he's next on the phone, he told me to tell you to shut up and hurry up.
He's too busy watching Matlock. He don't know how to text.
That's true. I lied.
He's probably watching the Titans game on DVR. Probably doesn't know what happened. Remember, like 2 years ago, he called in on a Monday morning and it was like, Jason, don't tell me what happened in the Titans game. I'm watching it right now on my DVR.
I like it. I like it.
You think he stayed up last night watching the Maltese Falcons?
Oh, probably so he can throw some shade. Probably. All right, Volstorm, we gotta get the Titans-Bill.
All right, boys, have a good week, and we'll see how much we lose by. See you, boys!
Where's your spirit? Let's get to Titans-Bill. Titans-Bill, good morning.
Yeah, well, Indianapolis got lucky.
Oh, they got lucky this time?
I believe they play Jacksonville.
Ooh, yeah. Jalen Ramsey might
did you see the highlight that Murone, I believe the head coach, what's his name, Murone or Marone or whatever his last name.
Yeah, Marone. Yeah, Marone.
Had one of the players of the Jaguars, a little verbal brouhaha.
That was Jalen Ramsey. Yeah, that was Jalen Ramsey and Doug Marone. They had to be separated on the sideline. And Jalen Ramsey has a little soft spot in his heart for the Tennessee Titans. Maybe he'll try to switch teams this weekend. Because I don't think his time in Jacksonville is going to be any longer after this season. So maybe this is, maybe this is the beginning of the Titans Ramsey love this weekend. Maybe we see that.
Could you imagine that secondary? No fly zone. My goodness.
Oh, it'll be nice, man. Imagine that salary cap though.
Imagine the Titans with Justin Herbert at quarterback.
They need something.
So it's going to be Tennessee versus Florida, not only on the college end of it, but in the pro end of it. You think about it, Jason.
I'm thinking about Titans-Bill. I'm thinking about it hard,
because, look, Jacksonville is not that far from Gainesville.
You got a good point there. Titans-Bill?
And they're just a short stone throw away from Gainesville. You think about it.
I'm thinking about it, Titans-Bill. I'm thinking about it hard over here. I told you, man. I'm thinking, Titans-Bill. We got to get.
Well, I'm glad you are, Jake. But I'm picking Tennessee over Florida. I know people's going to think I'm nuts for saying that, but I believe this victory over those boys from Choo Choo Town, the town that Glenn Miller made famous, I believe that this is going to be a confidence thing, and I believe, Jason, the sleeping giant has finally woke up.
Titans-Bill, my friend. Thanks for the phone call.
You're welcome, buddy.
Sleeping giant. Titans-Bill referred to Tennessee football as a sleeping giant.
He's not wrong.
Who's Glenn Miller?
That we sleep or we're a giant?
Both. Oh, he's right in saying that we're a sleeping giant. Tennessee has the potential to be a top 5, top 7 football program. We are a sleeping giant that is in a deep, 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 deep slumber.
We're hibernating like Yogi, the bear.
Tennessee's the 12th most profitable college football program in the country, and that's with this last decade of misery. Imagine how profitable Tennessee would be if they were having Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma type success. Might be the most profitable program in the country. Tennessee is 1,000% a sleeping giant.
I repeat, who's Glenn Miller?
I don't know who Glenn Miller is. I was trying to avoid that in case there was somebody I need to know.
You gotta let Titans-Bill flow. You don't ask questions. You don't interrupt. You let Titans-Bill flow. That's what he was doing.
Glenn Miller is.
He picked Tennessee over Florida. Let him flow.
He was an American big band trombonist, arranger, composer, and band leader in the swing era.
Got it.
From 1939 to 1942, he was the best-selling recording artist.
Thank you, Titans-Bill. Thank you, man.
So you don't think Tennessee's a sleeping giant?
No.
Why?
I think you gotta actually show. Like I remember in 2000, it was when Butch Jones was here, and I had saw Butch Jones improve the roster and put themselves in some good games versus good teams. And I had told myself, I was like, okay, man, the sleeping giant has one eye open right now. Because I saw what was kind of going on leading up to 2015, 2016. Like the talent was coming in. Those guys were playing. There was a little bit of development. I saw what we could be. Look at the rest of the league. I said, man, you know what? Sleeping giant, man. And we got
athletes. I don't think Nebraska will win a national title in my lifetime.
Okay.
Just because I don't think Nebraska will be able to get the athletes.
I understand.
That other schools will be able to.
Prestigious program, though.
Yes, very prestigious program.
Who else would you say is a sleeping giant?
Tennessee, obviously.
Okay.
A&M.
USC.
Texas until about last year. I thought Texas was a sleeping giant until last year under Tom Herman. USC, as Brad just mentioned, is a sleeping giant. Florida State, right now.
You say sleeping. I say hibernating or in a coma.
Yes, Tennessee is.
Florida State's in a coma.
Yeah, we are too.
Yeah, Tennessee's in a coma as well.
Yeah, like we are in a coma too. So I'm more like we're a giant that's in a coma right now. That's kind of where we are.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you. And Brad, I don't even know if it's fair to say Florida State's in a coma. They played in the national championship 6 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Texas as a sleeping giant, because like they had a little bit of success. And when you sleep, you wake up after a few hours. Tennessee, man, we haven't woke up in a while, so that's why I would say we're more in a coma than actually being asleep.
Yeah, Miami's a sleeping giant to me. So
that's
It
fine.
is my opinion that Florida State is in a more concerning position than Tennessee currently is because of how fast and rapidly they have fallen from that every year top 10, top 12 preseason, ranking.
Oh, absolutely.
And where Taggart has, currently found himself with that program. I mean, there's nobody in the seats, even in the lower bowl at Florida State games now. You've got guys lining up the wrong direction. I mean, how do you even explain that?
Well, they had no timeouts in their last play of the game to go score a touchdown with a running play.
Yep,
and,
to Cam Akers.
And Willie Taggart, the full context of the quote is not as bad as the quote itself, the small part that was cut out of the quote when he said that, I don't call plays, referring to Kendall Browse calling that play. But Willie Taggart's buyout is, I want to say, about $13, $14 million. It's a lot. I saw where a little kid had a lemonade stand to raise money for. Oh yeah, I saw it on Twitter yesterday.
Is that the equivalent of D.R. Voss sending his son to school with a Fire Butch poster?
This is actually worse.
Lemonade stand.
This is actually worse.
$261.
Yeah, this is actually worse because the kid is actually participating in raising money to get Willie Taggart out of there.
Yikes.
Yeah, I think Florida State situations.
Florida State is a worse football team than Tennessee. 1,000% believe that. It took the Louisiana Monroe kicker missing an extra point in overtime for them to beat them. They just lost to Virginia and had terrible game management towards the end of the game. And then they blew a lead to Boise State, who was playing a true freshman quarterback who was making his first career start.
Look at the talent on that roster, too.
I don't know which team is worse because we got beat up by Georgia State. Yeah. I don't know which team is worse. I
think it's hard to say right now, but here in a couple of weeks, I think that Tennessee, or maybe not even a couple of weeks, because Tennessee plays Florida, Georgia, and Alabama within the next couple of weeks. But at the end of the season, I think Tennessee will have proven to be a better team than Florida State.
Worst situation between Florida State and Tennessee? I would probably say Tennessee. Here's why. Because, remember, they didn't fire Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo left. Mm-hmm. So if they were to fire Willie Taggart after 2 years, yeah, that's bad, and they would have to pay him a lot of money. But Tennessee, we are not in the position to fire Pruitt. We can't.
Right. We
can't fire Jerome Pruitt. We're already paying Butch Jones. The only option for Tennessee is either Coach Fulmer is the next coach, or you stick with Pruitt. So you have limited options there. Mm-hmm. Also, you're in Florida. You still can recruit.
Right.
So I think Tennessee's in a worse position than Florida State. Neither program is in the best position right now. But
Tennessee has improved each and every week, like Vols made Texas says. Florida State has not.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
I don't know if I agree with Swain's latest point solely because Florida State got their guy. They got the coach that they wanted, and they got the guy who they thought was going to be the next, Jimbo, the next, insert name for the next 6 to 8 years to stabilize that program.
But they can go out. But they can go out and get another coach if they fire Willie Taggart
today. They could, but they failed on what they thought was a surefire victory. When hiring Willie Taggart, they were pumped. That was their guy. Deion Sanders coming out endorsing him. There was a lot of momentum for Florida State, and they have crashed and burned so quickly. When I think, from an outsider's perspective, Tennessee took a gamble on a first-year head coach. This is year 2. They've stumbled out of the gates, but there's still promise as they've improved each week. Florida State continues to trip over their own feet, and if they're not tripping over their own feet, they're going to shoot their foot off.
When I'm talking about the better situation, Tennessee was forced to pick from 3 defense coordinators. Florida State picked a head coach who had previous.
So you're talking about from a revenue athletic.
No,
standpoint.
I'm just talking about a better position as a football program. So Florida State could, if they wanted to, fire Willie Taggart and only be paying one coach, not the coach there, and then go out and probably have a better market to get a head coach. Tennessee, if they were to let go of Pruitt, they would be paying 2 coaches, and they would have trouble going out and find another coach just like they did when they hired Pruitt the first time. Is what I'm trying to say. And so I think Florida State's in a better position than Tennessee if they were to fire their coaches at this point. I mean, we don't have a lot of options right now. It's either ride with Pruitt, or if you don't, then you got. I mean, Coach Fulham's going to take over. You don't have who wants this job after Pruitt.
That's the point I was about to make. You go back and look at Tennessee's options, Philip Fulmer's options when they hired Pruitt. It was a bunch of offensive coordinators
and defense coordinators.
But I meant to say a bunch of coordinators is
Yeah.
what I meant to say, just in general, offensive and defensively. But I mean, that's going to be the same case if you were to fire Pruitt again. So why not just give him a chance to try and succeed and be patient?
You know, when you look at both programs, and I'm totally taking a step back here, and I know it's hard for us to do that sometimes when we look at our program versus other programs. But I just think Florida State's in a better situation. They play in an easier conference. They're not paying a coach currently to not coach there. Tennessee is. We play in a harder conference. They have easier time recruiting inside that state. I think if Tennessee and Florida State plays at the end of the year or mid-October, I can see Tennessee winning. I think Tennessee has gotten better. But the Georgia State loss was ugly, no doubt about that. But I mean, it is fair to kind of compare two programs because, 20 years ago, these two programs played for a national championship.
Yep.
I mean, these are two of the most successful football programs in the last 20, 25, 30, 40 years. Now, Florida State doesn't have the history that Tennessee has because Florida State was an all-girls school. And then Bobby Bowden comes and turns into a football power. But just looking at Florida State's program right now and Tennessee's football program right now, if I had to pick which program is in better shape, probably Florida State.
Yeah.
Right at this very moment.
I don't disagree with you, but another way to look at it, though, I would say there's more optimism for Jeremy Pruitt than Willie Taggart.
No, I agree with that.
I think Tennessee is in a much better situation with Jeremy Pruitt than Florida State is with Willie Taggart.
No, I agree with that.
If I
fan
had to
base
pick,
is more caught off guard in Seminole Nation than it is in Ball Nation.
absolutely, and I think there are a lot of positives for the future with Pruitt, recruiting, the young players that are making plays for Tennessee right now. Whereas Willie Taggart, he is kind of struggling with recruiting, and on the field, there's not a whole lot of hope for him going forward.
I'm with you. No, I agree with that. Let's get to DR Vol. DR Vol, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Well, how are you?
Good. I'm good. Well, do y'all feel worse about Florida now that Franks is out?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been worried if Franks was in there because he adds another dimension to the running game in short yardage situation. But I'm worried about Trask because he's a better pocket passer and he makes quicker decisions. And I mean, he's not afraid of the moment. So I'm worried about both quarterbacks for different reasons.
Yeah. Now, what about Bryce Thompson? Doesn't he go to court this week?
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, 23rd.
Oh, so he's not playing this week for sure.
23rd is a week from today.
I saw next.
So yeah,
Tuesday.
he's definitely not playing versus Florida, is he?
Swain thinks that he will. I don't believe so.
I think he should. I don't know if he will because I'm not in the coach's meeting room. I think he should play.
Okay.
I wish he would. Yeah, I mean, I like Titans Bill's prediction, but to steal a quote from him, us losing to Florida is just a tradition.
Just like the Titans losing to the Colts. Unfortunately.
Well, Ben, y'all think y'all going to win a game this year?
Yeah, hopefully.
They tanking for Tua.
Take it to it, baby.
Yeah. I bet they wish they had that number 17 from the Patriots. He looked like a pretty good receiver.
Anybody looks like a good receiver when he pushes off on the defender, especially against the Dolphins, a team full of players trying to get traded.
Hey, that's not pushing off. That's just playing aggressive.
Oh, man.
Well, guys, that's about all I got for today, but I'm enjoying the show.
See you, man. Thank you. Let's go back to the phones. Let's get to Jay. Jay, good morning.
Swain. Ben, good morning, guys.
How you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing? Well, doing well. Do we? I feel like we fear Florida.
Fear?
When Florida week comes around, everybody tightens up. Fans get nervous. I feel like that seeps down to the players, to the coaches. But I don't feel like we do that with Georgia, and even as crazy as it sounds, Alabama. Like, I think Alabama's just been better than us, and there's just nothing we can do about it. But we still have that memory of beating Alabama like 12 years in a row. And we've always played Georgia tough and beaten them a lot of times when we shouldn't have beaten them. So, I don't feel like we fear those teams, but I do feel like this town, this program, the players, no matter the year, we're afraid of them. We get nervous, we tighten up, and it shows on the field by how we lose to them. And I mean, do y'all think that's accurate, or
Yes.
or do you just think we've
lost 13 of the last 14. There's something in their head.
Yes.
we've gotten drilled by Alabama, but I don't think we fear Alabama like we fear Florida.
I agree with you, Jay. It's the way we have lost in games when we should have won. 2014, Tennessee's up 9-0, and then you find a way to lose that game. You go to the Swamp in 2015, you find a way to lose that game. 2017, you find a way to lose that game. I agree with you. I think Florida week mentally there's something there that's not there when you play against Alabama, when you play against Georgia. I noticed it in Coach Fulmer, Florida week. I noticed a difference in him Florida week and Alabama week. Alabama week, he was just more, PO'd and ready to fight Alabama because of the history there with him in Alabama. Florida, there was a little bit more of nervousness. A little
The
bit
SEC
more,
East was on the line that
yeah,
week.
a little bit more of lemon booty in that situation, and we sensed it as players. We did. We used to always make comments like, "Oh man, it's Florida week. Look at Coach. Look at Coach. He nervous." So yeah, I agree with you.
See, that's what I've said. I think it seeps down into our program, Swain, and you saying that kind of verifies that. But it's just, I don't know why. And the thing, we turn them into the big bad wolf when they're not. Not that they're not a good program. Now look, Urban Meyer's team, those guys were big bad. I mean, that was the big bad bully on the block then. But McElwain's teams, Muschamp's teams, even this Dan Mullen. I mean, we turn them psychologically. We turn them into something that they're just not. Like, they're not this big bad monster hiding in your closet, but you make them out to be that way, and then the game turns out that way. And I mean, Kentucky has flat outplayed Florida 3 years in a row and has only won one game. Butch Jones probably should have beat Florida 4 out of 5 years. I mean, it's the most dumbfounding rivalry I have ever seen in my life. I do not get it. And I fully expect to go down there and outplay them and get beat on a Hail Mary again. Like, something like that's going to happen. We might as well just go ahead and prepare for that.
I mean, you make some compelling points there. Thanks for the phone call, Jay.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, I sense that.
I wouldn't say I'm afraid of Florida, though.
But it ain't you, though. I know Jay said fans, but I mean, why should we be afraid of Florida?
Yeah, but even as diehard fans as we are, we do feel a part of the team, even though we're not. That's why we reference we when talking about the team, is because we follow the team so much, we care about the team so much, we love the team so much, we feel a part of the team, which is, I think, what Jay was getting at. And somewhat referencing, but I think we're just kind of hoping for the best, not really afraid of Florida. We're just hoping for the best, and I think the reason we're not afraid of Alabama is because we just automatically chalk it up as an L in our our head.
I mean, I don't feel any of those emotions that Jay was referring to. I've never felt them as a player. I don't feel them now. But I'm trying to understand how others may feel. I've never been afraid of Florida. I've never felt like I need to press against Florida. I do understand it's the first SEC game, and there's a lot riding on it. But I never felt like, oh my gosh, man, the pressure's too much, and I'm playing outside of myself because I'm trying too hard. I never felt that way. I never felt that way.
I don't fear Florida this year, but I think it's because of Tennessee's product on the football field. Because in 2015, 2016, a little bit of 17, definitely 16 more so than any other year, that football team had a lot of potential. The streak was going on. I feared, not Florida, I feared losing the football game as a fan just because I wanted Tennessee to potentially go to Atlanta. I wanted Tennessee to end the streak. I wanted people to stop making fun of Tennessee for losing Florida every year. So when I fear something in regards to Tennessee football, it's the outcome. I fear Tennessee losing. I don't fear the other team. I just fear the outcome and comments that people are going to make about a program and a place that I love so much. That's more so what I fear as a fan.
Yeah, I don't think fear is the right word here that Jay used.
We lack confidence.
I would say that
Nervous.
there's a mental hurdle that's present when we play Florida. The same way we make fun of Kentucky, there's times when Kentucky has outplayed Tennessee, but they have found a way to lose. We have done that when it comes to playing Florida. That sometimes we have outplayed Florida, but we have found a way to lose. 14, 15, and 17, those years come to mind. I would say that. Because I don't think our football players are scared of playing Florida. That don't make any sense. I don't think so. Now,
I would hope not. I mean,
no, I don't think you're scared to play an opponent.
No.
You may understand that they're a good football team and they're better than you, and you have to play a really good game to have a chance. But that doesn't mean that you're afraid. No. That just means that you can possibly press too much.
If they're afraid of playing Florida this weekend, they don't need to be playing football.
Yeah, they just. I don't think anyone's afraid of playing another team. It's just a football game. It's not like you going to save someone that's laying on I-40 or something.
Right.
I mean, scared's not the right word there,
right.
But there's a mental hurdle.
I do think fans are scared of the outcome, though.
Yeah.
Because I've been there plenty of times.
You're there now with your Steelers.
Yeah, pretty much.
You ain't right. You ain't right, Brad. You ain't right. He ain't right. He ain't right. He had to use Steelers as an example. He could have used any other team.
He didn't.
Oh, man. All right, Jay. Thanks, man. Thanks for the phone call there. I do think there's a mental block, though.
Yes.
And there has been for a while. I mean, listen, Spurrier got the best of Coach Fulmer there, and Muschamp got the best of Tennessee. Michael Wayne got the best of Tennessee. Urban Meyer got the best of Tennessee. So, yeah, I mean, you're pressing because you want to beat them. And you've gotten so close. Coach Fulmer had his close calls. I was part of a few of them. He had some close calls before I got there. The Jabbar Gaffney fake touchdown, the catch that was not a catch. I mean, you've had your close calls there. 865-255-03B Drive Waterproofing Hotline. Swain event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. I'm glad you changed the narrative. Nobody's scared of Florida. Jennings, Smith, Banks, To'o Gray. They're not scared of no damn Florida.
No.
I don't think anyone's scared.
JG's not scared of Florida. I can promise you that. The
They're
players
not
aren't scared of Florida.
No, you just know there's a lot on the line.
Yes.
Sometimes you can press a little bit too much. Vols made Texas says Florida, Mississippi State, Carolina, Mizzou, Kentucky, Vandy, UAB are all on the table and very winnable. Just my opinion. I'm not going to disagree with you. I think those are winnable games, but it requires playing well. I think there's only 2 games on this schedule where it don't matter how great you play, you ain't winning. And that's Georgia, and that is Alabama. Vols Texas made a really good point because I saw Florida's best defensive player on the sideline with some ice on his ankle or his foot against Kentucky, and that is
Jabari Zuniga.
Zuniga, who is like clockwork, Florida defensive end who can rush the passer and probably will be drafted in the first round.
Yes.
But he did not finish the Kentucky game. I would be surprised if he does not play against Tennessee, but he may not be 100%, may not be full
questionable.
speed. Yeah. Adam says, hey, guys, love your show. It's number one. I know there's a lot of improvements to go. Swain, do you feel like we are playing high level now? Go Vols. No, we're not playing at high level. We're not. We're not. Not right now. And it's the third game of the season. You know, Tennessee had a lot of energy out there. They scored touchdowns in multiple different ways. Excuse me, they didn't score a defensive touchdown, did they?
Who?
Tennessee against there's like one or two teams in the country that's playing at a high level right now. And honestly, I don't even know if I want to say one or two. I don't think there's a team playing at a high level right now. I don't think Alabama's playing at a high level.
No, they're not because of defensive miscues. Offensively, they are. And then Trevor Lawrence has not lived up to the hype the first three games.
Yeah.
There's one team playing at a high level to
Oklahoma?
me. Teams. Oklahoma and LSU.
I think LSU's playing Oklahoma. Oklahoma allowed, kind of relaxed a little bit against Houston. When you play at a high level, it doesn't matter the competition. You have a certain way that you play. I think LSU would probably be the team out of everyone else.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with you saying Oklahoma. It's the third game of the season. We're heading into week 4. It's hard to say really any team is playing at a high level right now.
As an entire team, because Alabama, obviously their scores indicate that they're playing at a high level, but their defense has, against South Carolina, struggled at times. And as I mentioned earlier, it looks like they're going to have 4 freshmen starting in their front 7. That's going to cause some problems for them down the road. And then Trevor Lawrence, Amari Rodgers, boy, did that kid look good.
You're not worried about Ohio State?
I don't think that they're
Ohio
playing
State's looking pretty good, boys.
Everybody was making talking Justin Fields up for his 4 touchdown passes, but I saw the 14 of 24, and it was against Indiana. I'm not like down on Ohio State. I just want them. I want to see them do it against somebody other than Indiana and FAU and somebody of that nature. I mean, they've been throwing Justin Fields has been throwing the guys that are wide open that you and I could have made that throw, kind of like Lamar Jackson against the Dolphins and against the Cardinals. Let's see.
Cincinnati had a good defense, and they took them down 42-0 last week.
They did, but it's Cincinnati. I want to see how he performs against the games that he will truly be judged in, the Michigan State games, the Michigans, the Penn State, those games.
Yeah, I'm with you. Too early on Ohio State. Hillbilly Bopper comes back and he says he does have a play for me. Remember, he called in hour 1, and he was critical of JG's play on Saturday, and I asked him just to be a little bit more specific in what play you're talking about. And he says, here's the play. Second quarter, JG to Tillman. JG led Tillman into coverage. Luckily, he grabbed the pass and held on to it. I couldn't see the spread on the replay, but I saw it was a continuation from BYU. But luckily, UTC couldn't make a play or anything. Break the game down on what you see. I might or might not agree. I will still have a time with the Florida secondary and front 7. Agree on that. This play was a play that I telestrated during last night's locker room, so I'm not exaggerating. I've probably watched the play about 30 times. And look at where Cedric Tillman is lining up. He's lining up a little bit, I'm not sure if it's inside or outside, probably outside the hash, real close to the hash. And the throw was probably a half yard inside of his alignment. It's really ticky-tack to criticize Jared on that throw. There was a free safety. If you look pre-snap in the shot, there's 10 guys in the shot. There's 8 guys in the box. The only guys who are not in the box are the corners who are guarding the receivers. It was a heavy run fake. Even Cedric Tillman came off like he was going to block, and then as soon as the corner kind of stopped his feet, he ran vertically. Up top, Ramel Keaton, it looked like he had a corner. It looked that way, but it was a vertical route, and those 2 routes from Tillman and Keaton was to put pressure on that free safety. make that free safety decide which one he was going to take. And it looks like he took Ramel Keaton there. And Jared, as soon as he hit his back step, I mean, he didn't waste any time. Let the ball rip. If you're going to critique him any on that, I think he's a little nitpicky if you do it, that he threw the ball probably a half yard inside. But who's complaining? I'm not going to complain about that. If I'm Cedric Tillman, I'm happy. Thank you. Please. Threw me the ball. No, I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah, I did not understand the criticism of him not seeing him and throwing it to him late because it was play action, and as soon as he came out of the play action motion, he fired the football, set his feet, fired the football as soon as he came out of that action.
Yeah, I mean it's a vertical route. I mean,
if he was late, it was because it was play action.
It wasn't. It wasn't even late.
No,
he didn't throw it inside. It was fine. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with that play from JG. It was fine. I'm pretty sure he got double pluses on that play
from the coaches.
I'm pretty sure that's an example of what I'm saying is it's fair to criticize JG, BYU, Georgia State was not good. But we're going to get to a point where, like, everything he does now, people are going to, oh, it wasn't good enough. Well, there's nothing wrong with that play. Like, he did a good job. He took a shot. He threw it while he was getting hit because offensive lineman missed his block. So I don't understand the problem with that play at all. I thought JG did a really good job.
It's just
on that play.
It's just the piling on Calvert and Darnell Wright would beat the entire right side of the offensive line. Just caved in, but
he didn't throw it inside. It was on
a line.
It was on a line. It was perfect. It was good. It was good.
It's just one of those things where people are out on JG, and they're just every opportunity to pile on, they're going to pile on.
Y'all want to get to Zach?
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all, man. If you want to knock him on the first throw of the game, go for it. He deserves it. But that touchdown, come on, man. I think you piling on. Let's get to Zach. Zach, good morning.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Zach?
I'm the newest triple OG member.
Thank you, man. Good morning. How you doing?
Doing great. I just want to ask about J.J. Peterson. When he's out there, he looks like he had great instincts. But what's got him so far behind? I just want to get y'all's opinion on that.
It's all mental for him. It's all mental. During the spring, it was not being able to play through a little bit of injury, getting banged up. I wouldn't even say injury, just being a little hurt, nicked up. It was that. But it's all mental. And I'm not in the linebacker room, so I don't know exactly what all it is. But I know physically he should be able to play. And the only reason he's not playing because either he doesn't know where he's going or he's not doing everything the right way. That was the issue with Jordan Murphy. Jordan Murphy physically was as good as any wide receiver that we had. I thought he was one of our top 4 wide receivers, but could not stay out of the doghouse, could not do things the right way. And that's why he was never really able to reach his potential here at Tennessee. And hopefully J.J. Peterson doesn't end up like Jordan Murphy, where physically you could play, but it's the other stuff. It's the off-the-field things. It's being on time. It's knowing your stuff. It's all the other things that comes with being a responsible student-athlete that keeps you off of the game field. So I don't really know. I just know that it's mental.
It is. It's him not knowing the playbook, and that is evident on Saturday. I don't know if you can tell in the TV broadcast. I mean, you can see J.J. Peterson looking to the sideline, but Jeremy Pruitt is out of the frame. He's looking to the sideline to Jeremy Pruitt, and Pruitt is having to point to him where to line up and shout to him what to do against UTC. That's why he's not playing, because he doesn't know what to do on the plays. And I think that is very unfortunate, especially when you consider he's been here for a year and a half, or I guess technically a year because he arrived right at the beginning of the season last year. So he's been here for a year now, but he went through an entire season last year, went through winter conditioning, went through the spring, went through summer workouts, went through fall camp, now 3 weeks into this season, and he still doesn't have the playbook down. I get that it's complicated, but that should be a factor for Henry To'o, Roman Harrison, Quavaris Crouch, not J.J. Peterson, who has been here much longer.
Vols Main, Texas again on text box says Heisman favorite right now.
Joe Burrow.
No.
Joe Burrow and Tua. Those are the top two.
What? Joe
He's
Burrow?
right.
Go look at the stats.
I'm
Better than
going.
anybody in the country.
I'm going Jalen Hurts, baby. Number one right now. Number one right now, baby. Number one.
In your head, not according to the Heisman odds or the statistics.
I'm going Jalen Hurts, man. He's a favorite. Maybe it is my head. And Burrow did have a good performance against Texas.
I'd rather Jalen Hurts win. I'm a huge Jalen Hurts fan. I like Jalen Hurts 10 times more than I like Joe Burrow. I hope Jalen Hurts does win the Heisman because that means Tua didn't win it. That means Joe Burrow didn't win it. I don't really care if Trevor Lawrence wins it or not. But I'd like to see Jalen win it after everything he went through at Alabama.
I think playing a full game against South Carolina helped Tua. Because that was a knock on him last year, which is why Kyler Murray got it. Tua just – they were beating teams down so much that he didn't play a lot in the fourth quarter. So I think when it's all said and done, I think Jalen Hurts will be in New York, and I don't think Joe Burrow is going to be there. I think.
But does Jonathan Taylor deserve it?
Wisconsin running back?
Yes.
I haven't watched Wisconsin this year yet.
Yeah, they played Michigan this week.
Yeah, I know first game. Wisconsin played someone first game.
USF.
And it's supposed to be a better game than what it was. And
South Florida, they blew them out like 48-0.
Beat them down. Yeah.
Yep,
I saw a little bit of that game, but I have not seen a full Wisconsin game, which I don't know why I'm saying that. I think I've ever seen a full Wisconsin game. Sorry, man. It's Wisconsin. I don't like watching Wisconsin play.
Over 1,900 yards as a freshman, ran for over 2,100 yards last year as a sophomore, averaging over 115 a game so far this year. He's a heck of a back, man.
He is, man.
I think he'll be in New York at the end of the year, but I don't think he'll win it just because it's a quarterback award. And I think Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow are more deserving right now.
I want to see what Joe Burrow does against that Auburn defense.
I want to see him again. Yeah.
Auburn defense.
Auburn's defense is actually better than Alabama's defense right now.
Yeah, I want to see what Burrow does. A little bit later in SEC play.
About to light Vandy up.
They play Florida. Yeah, I kind of want to see what Burrow does later in the season.
Brad's right too. He gets to play Vanderbilt this weekend. Another stat game.
Oh no, it's gonna be great. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Let's see here. Carmen says we have a lot of fans who think they know a lot about football, but really don't even know how to break down a play. That are super quick to criticize JG even when he doesn't deserve it. It's frustrating. He hasn't had a great season, but people are out here criticizing plays where he does what he should. And I don't think Hillbilly Bopper was being I think his heart was in the right place. I can tell when someone is just being ugly to be ugly. I don't think Hillbilly Bopper was doing that at all. Hillbilly Bopper was asking me kind of what I saw in that play, and I just didn't see the touchdown play being a bad thing. I thought he did a really good job actually, but I do feel like there's so many people out on him that they're criticizing him and like they're maliciously doing it, and they're wrong. Like they're wrong in their critique whilst trying to be ugly. And it just looks bad. Like, it just looks really, really, really bad. Like, does it help to every other tweet to talk about how much you don't like JG? I mean, my goodness. Okay, you don't like him. Okay, you don't think he's good. All right, cool, whatever. But that's what we have right now. And he's our best chance to win football games. And you saw that Saturday.
Quick touchdown turnover. Has Ben Roethlisberger thrown his last pass in Pittsburgh?
Not ever. Maybe this season if he has elbow surgery.
So you think he'd come back?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's got, including this year, 2 more years on his deal.
So he just hurt his elbow just throwing, not being tackled or anything.
Yep.
Kind of like Drew Brees. I mean, he hurt his thumb. He hit it against
Aaron Donald's hand.
Yeah, Aaron Donald's hand. So that's the thing.
Supposed
not
to
a
get
good day
word
for
today whether or not he's going to have elbow surgery.
Yeah, not a good day for NFL, man. They changed the rules a couple of years ago to try to keep quarterbacks healthy because quarterbacks drive the NFL. And it's not a good product when you have backup quarterbacks out there. You lose Drew Brees, you lose Ben Roethlisberger. It's a better league when those guys are playing, and they may not be playing for a while.
This football season has been miserable. My teams are a combined 1-4, and the one win is against an FCS opponent.
Yankees are doing pretty good, though.
They did get Dylan Batanzas back.
There you go.
He looks sharp.
Finally.
The Yankees.
My Army football team won against mighty UTSA over the weekend.
How about that? There you go.
I want the teams that I care about the most to win, though.
Well, I know what I'll be doing today. I'll be breaking down some Florida game film from over the weekend. I watched Florida, Kentucky. I'm going to move past the UTC game. Is that okay?
Yes.
I think we can move past this game. It is Florida week. Swain event fueled by Daddy and Barbecue. Beatty Chevrolet, new and pre-owned vehicles. Home of the warranty for life. $500 coupon right there on BeattyChevrolet.com. Great prices, great deals. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain and Brad Matthews. Peace and love. Have a great day. We are out.